shows and podcasts. Wonderful. Done. Perfect. All right.
Thades Hammer is an opt-in Stream Dad experience.
Oh, God, I've barely eaten. I'm going to eat while you answer my questions.
Okay, fair enough.
Y'all, meet Thades Hammer. Actually,
There,
before
this is actually...
Oh, my God!
There. It's actually me.
Oh, my God, yes! Look at you. Okay.
I know.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to stay this way for now.
Yeah.
Okay? While I eat. While I eat, I will be made Barian. So, okay. Yeah, I think we're ready. I think we're all set up. Oh my gosh, my mind is all over the place. Thades.
Very.
I'm going to start out with the most important question.
Okay.
Who are you?
Who am I?
Yeah. Who are you?
You know, I'm going to answer that question, but the thing that came to mind first is maybe a helpful anecdote. So years ago now, unfortunately, my friend, I had a very dear friend who passed away from lung cancer. But the guy, when he was alive, was super inspirational, maybe the most warm and brilliant sort of like, if there was a CEO I would actually choose for a company, it'd be this guy, because he's the kind of guy that burned his own company down to keep his employees safe and clothed and housed during the housing crisis rather than cash out like everyone else did.
Oh my gosh.
A really brilliant guy who he was in it for the people and still made money, which proves it's possible. He's the kind of guy that gave me hope. This showman, whenever he met someone, would find an opportunity within the first hour to ask them, "What's your story?" He always did that, and he explained to me the reason was that he learned so much about someone from how they approached and answered that question more than any other question he'd ever asked anybody. So he always started there to see, who is this human and how do they want me to see them? So
I love that. That's kind of what I use who are you for.
Yeah. Well,
Similar.
I mean, I'm a lot of people. So yeah, I'm Thades. I have a lot of names, but I'll be honest with you, Thades is my favorite. And it wasn't actually my name. It's a mispronunciation of what my name used to be. And I think this happens to people on Twitch kind of all the time, right? You've heard this story before,
Yeah.
variation of it, but generally my name was actually Thade. I was Thade on the Warhammer forums for like Warhammer 40K for a long time. I was a moderator on that forum, and I was the authority on what they called if you play Warhammer 40K, otherwise you don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, but if you played it, you know. I was credited with what was called the Thade Pattern Vanguard, which was a very specific way of equipping a unit of Space Marines for a specific use case in a fight.
So you were big time into that, huh?
I was big time into Warhammer, yeah. And so I tried making a Twitch like a long time ago. And it's not this one. It was actually Thades Anvil, because I had a blog called Thades Hammer. And I would write on the blog about Warhammer, and I tried getting the Twitch rolling, and it didn't have a camera or a microphone or anything, so it just didn't really pan out. Like, I think I streamed Dark Souls 2 once to, no one watching. I didn't really know what I was doing. It wasn't very appealing. It wasn't fun for me. No community connection. I just let it fizzle. Thades Anvil is now my bot. That account is still live. It's older than this one.
Oh my gosh.
And so I went live with this one because friend of the show, Sarahface, talked me into streaming, which I'm sure we'll talk about tonight. And
that was Sarahface.
Sarahface got me to do this, yeah. So, well, we'll take a digression then, right? So Sarahface is essentially she's my non-biological twin sister. That's how we put it. If you saw the two of us together, you kind of get it right away. We're very different in terms of where we come from and how we approach a lot of social situations, which is like where the differences kind of stop. Like the way we see people, the way we connect with people, how we care, and the way we sacrifice ourselves to help folks, we're kind of identical, and that's kind of where that came from. So anyway, I said, I want to play this Dark Souls game you tried to get me to play a long time ago. And she said, you should play it on Twitch. You should stream it because people will want to hear you talk about it. I bet it'll be fun. I said, I don't know. Isn't Twitch like, don't you have to be really good at the games? And she said, no. And I said, don't you have to be really funny? And she said, you are. I said, okay.
Aww.
So I went live, and literally everybody who met me on there in the coming months pronounced my name Thades. Everybody. So Thades like Hades, right? And I tried correcting people at first, and then I just let it roll because it's just easier branding if people get it when they see it. And that's what they're going to say. So I thought, fine. I started saying I'm Thades, and it grew on me very quickly. It sounds nicer than Thade. Thade rhymes with Fade, which is the name of Sting's character from Dune from like the 70s. I'm so sorry if you tried to forget that movie because I've just brought it back to you. That's the whole reason I picked that name, and this is just a better name. It's just better. Thades, there's no Thades in the internet. When I Googled for it, it was completely unique, which is pretty nice for a very short 5-letter word.
Heck yeah. I think my friend Plover, who's in chat, also went through a similar thing, where they, their name was Panda Number Love, and people would shorten it to P Lover. For some reason, like it was just a weird mix of the letters and words in there, and so they would write P Lover, Plover, and people just started calling them Plover, and so they changed their name, and it's really cute because they really like it.
It is really cute. Folks want that. They want like a nickname that they can say quickly and grab onto, and if it's catchy, like it's you're done. Like it's stuck.
Absolutely. So you were Thades. Thade. You were Thades Anvil.
An apostrophe, yeah.
And then you made Thades Hammer.
Yeah. It sounds so weird to hear someone say it now. It's really strange.
But you've embraced Thades now. And you are a Twitch streamer, a community leader.
I guess that happened, yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I understand the weirdness that comes with being called a community leader.
I know you do.
It happened to you, okay? You have become a community leader, and you're an incredible one at that.
Oh, geez, thank you.
Part of that is, well, I have this written down. You said, my fam keeps calling me Dad of the Gays.
Oh, God,
How did that come about?
This has happened a lot. So how do I explain this to people? This comes up a lot because behind the scenes, your dad's trying to figure out how dating works. And so I have first dates sometimes. And trying to explain to someone, maybe this is actually universal, like, what do you do for a living? Oh, this is my job. But who wants to talk about their real job? Oh, what do you do outside of that? Well, I do Twitch, which is basically a job, but it's really fun, and I don't get really paid for it meaningfully. So, and then they say, oh, what do you do other than Twitch?
Mood.
I got nothing. What was your first question? I don't know what to say. And so the summary about Twitch, which is kind of a job that pays in spirit for me and not for money at all, is that it is. Also, I have ADHD, so sometimes my brain will forget what I was focusing on.
You're totally fine, hun.
Skip everywhere.
The question was the dad question.
Oh God, I don't control my brand. That was what the anecdote I was trying to get to. I don't control my brand. I gave up on it. So let's go. This is like a little bit vulnerable for me, but I'm getting used to it because it's just the reality now, and everyone is okay with it apparently. So I needed to be okay with it. Let's go back in time about. Oh my God, I've been doing this for 2 years. My Streamiversary is in like a month.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I've been doing this for 2 years. I don't know how that fucking happened.
You gonna do anything fun for it? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine. That's good. That's good. We'll put a pin in that. Put a pin in your brain for that one. But yeah, we'll talk about that because the short answer is I have no idea. I should do something. We'll talk about it. Yeah. So we go back about a year and a half or a little bit less, and I rated Quinnvincible. Or no, sorry, Quinnvincible rated me. I was playing Darkest Dungeon. They were playing Darkest Dungeon. Quinn, for those of you who don't know, a lovely human who is non-binary, and on Sunday with their birthday, changed their pronouns officially to they, he. They're taking a new adventure and self-exploration there. Me too. It's pretty awesome. Oh, they're so beautiful. It's really great and scary. And they have my, so they raided me back then, and that was when they were trying them publicly, and they were doing that as like their first step into like identifying publicly as this new version of who they realized they were. And they saw that I had the LGBTQIA plus tag on, and so they raided me. Why did I have that tag? Well, let's go back even further to the beginning of Dark Souls. And Seraphis said to me, Thades, we, your viewers, of which at the time there were like 7 or 8, we want you to put the LGBTQIA plus tag on your stream. And I said, Sarah, I love you, but I am not any of those things. That is appropriation, and I don't believe I should do that. And she said this to me a lot for different reasons. She said, "You're adorable. We, all of us, are gay as fuck, and we want you to represent us better so that we get better friends in the stream to hang out with us, please. Could you do that?" So the stream is a community stream in a way. She didn't say this is how I'm seeing it. Everyone sees it like this is about making friends and community, and we'll get better people in here if you put that tag on there. And so I said, you know what? Sure. Step 1, Thades does not control his brand. So I put that on there, and it was true. Like, we got a lot of really awesome friends really quickly, and even the non-Alphabet Mafia folks that came in and stuck around tended to be the coolest ones, like the ones who were okay with that label being present, which is it's a filter that I think we're all familiar with that, right? I mean, I put it on my dating profile too. Like, I don't care what you think of me if you are not comfortable with any of those labels. Right. So I've had, women say to me, I'm a good ally, but I'm not going to date you if you're bi. And you know what? I'm not bi, but you just lost the race. Yeah. Right. That was it. Game over. So basically the stream has the same thing. And so I put on my stream, the tag, and then I put something else. I mean, there's a lot of overlap with my dating profile, which I'm not going to talk about dating, I promise, but it can't be avoided in the startup here. It's totally fine. One thing I put in all of my dating profiles when they are rarely live is the line, I'm a single dad. I have 2 sons I have 2 children who are boys until they tell me otherwise. Currently, they identify as tiny tornadoes. And they are lovely tornadoes. So I put the rainbow effect might work on this. I'll try that in a little bit. I don't remember if it works in this camera or not. ADHD. So I put that on my Twitch description that my sons are, their boys still tell me otherwise. And I forgot about it. Again, it's just like the LGBTQIA plus tag. It's a screen that protects my community from folks hanging out that we kind of, it's not, I don't want to say I don't want them. And that's something I'll talk about too a little bit, I think. Like, when I moderate Quinn's stream, and in Quinn's stream, it's kind of a meme there where I'll ban someone within a heartbeat of them saying anything remotely suspicious, and everyone will put my hammers in chat because his dad got him, yeah. I brook no aggression. There's no patience in there. In my stream, if someone comes in and they say something, I will engage with them and try to talk to them for a minute. I'll take a moment to educate them if I can, before banning them. The reason is I feel like I can take the hit, right? That's the allies' position, I feel like, to serve as a bit of a punching bag. You all should police your spaces in ways to help you feel comfortable and safe, and that's what I do. If someone gives me a hammer in one of these chats, I am a bit of a brute. But in my chat, I try to use it to let people, if they really want to step in and feel like they can try to be comfortable here, I'm going to give them rope to hang themselves, give them some space to grow.
I think it's important to note that none of it, giving people like that attention to try to teach them or give them a learning experience. Gosh, my own ADHD is making it hard to talk.
Mood.
Giving them that chance to learn and to experience, just for a moment, some kindness from someone that they may hate or look down upon is incredibly wonderful. And it is good to do for anyone. However, no one owes that to them.
I'm going to remind you to ask me about that exact thing in a few minutes because I don't want to go on that digression yet, but that's a story you're going to enjoy. So
right, I'll write it down.
Okay. Because I don't want to forget that anecdote. But to finish, to tie this together, so there's my branding, which I basically only put it forward that way because my community asked me to. They said, please do this. And then a funny thing happened. Within about a month to 2 months, my stream had grown, and the growth was about, there were some Dark Souls aficionados that were only there for the Dark Souls, but then there were a lot of other people that were there, and clearly for me. And the percentages blew my mind, in that 40% of my viewers, at like 20 people, 20 to 22 people, 40%, 40, were out and streaming, like identifying trans women. And having just one of them statistically is like an anomaly. And I understand that, if one finds a streamer they like, they'll bring a friend or two, but there was a lot, like a lot. Mm-hmm. And it was flattering, but I was really I didn't know what to make of it. And so I asked some friends. I have friends who are trans women. So I asked one of them, do you have any idea what the hell's happening? And she said, well, you're pretty easy on the eyes. That might be part of it. I said, thanks. But like, really, what about this is doing it? And she said, I have no idea, but she doesn't really do Twitch. So she didn't understand either. So then I asked other folks and no one really got it. And then until I mentioned it to one person, a friend of a friend, who is a nightclub operator and promoter and has worked in that space for a long time. Like the kind of nightclubs you got to know somebody to get into. Okay. Your dad has a lot of friends, all from across all spaces. I know I have a lot of contacts. It's useful sometimes. So I talked to this guy about this, and he was asking me about some software thing he was working on. That's why we were talking. And then during a beat, I talked about my Twitch experience and how confused I was. And he said in response to me saying, the percentage is just blowing my mind. Like, why is this happening? He said, well, it's obvious. I said, what do you mean it's obvious? He said, all right, let me ask you this. What is your brand? And I said, I'm like a funny guy that does silly things on the internet. And, I'm okay at video games, I guess. He said, yeah, you're funny, but that's not your brand. He said, okay, you are a dad. And I said, yeah, I am literally, I have 2 kids. He said, yeah, I get that, but no. He said, you have dad energy. You bring that to your stream. It drips from you. You can't get away from it. And you are doing this stream thing in a society right now that has, America's having a real problem with dads. A lot of dads are having trouble right now being fathers. Like they're really fucking it up. And he leaned in and he said, what group do you think is having the most trouble connecting with their dads right now? And I said, oh my God, right? I was like, that was the thing that's why. I said, that's probably why they're in there. Is that really why? He said, yeah. And so I talked to, again, friend of the show, Sarah Face, about this. And she said, well, I know. I was like, well, why didn't you tell me? And she said, you should really go the distance with this. And so one thing that she does is she goes to all sorts of events across the country. And she said she has seen dads sitting in different parks and places at events like this. They'll hold a sign that says free dad hugs here. And you can go to these men and get a dad hug. And she said, you should do that. And I said, I don't know. How would I hug someone on stream? I don't know how that would work. And I just feel a little weird about it. She said, but you should really do that. Embrace the dad thing. It will be good for people. I said, okay, I'll try. And I felt uncomfortable about it. And so I set up the very first redeem. It was called the genuine dad moment redeem. Okay. And my design for it was that I would hit a button, a voice changer would pop up and drop my voice like a half an octave or something, make me even deeper than I am, and then pull remember Tarkus from Dark Souls?
Yes.
I was constantly talking about Tarkus from Dark Souls because I would take his armor. I would use his armor constantly every time I did a run on Dark Souls. I did 2 or 3 nights to do a full run in Dark Souls after I got through it the first couple times, and I just kept putting that armor on and talking about poor Tarkus, who helped me kill the golem, solo the golem, and then I take their armor. And so I would just slam his helmet down over my entire body, just the Tarkus helmet, and I would do my best to give a genuine pep talk. That was the plan, and it sat unused for like 2 weeks. And so I'm thinking maybe I'm not going to do this. Maybe I'll just take it down. It's not really working. And literally the day I was thinking that, I'm like playing XCOM 2 on stream, which I'm going to bring it back, I think, at some point in the next few weeks. But at the time, it was kind of tanking for me. People didn't really like it. They wanted the Dark Souls Thades. They didn't want XCOM. But I'm playing XCOM, and I'm getting my ass kicked in this like mission. I made a bad mistake, and I'm trying to pull my soldiers out while they're getting mopped up, and it's really hard to carry my wounded out. And in the middle of this intense firefight, Quinn and his wife Katie come into my stream, and the Katie redeems the dad moment. And I'm in this firefight. This is happening, and that redeems. I hit the button, and I like bring the game volume down, and I start this real sappy music I got from like Harris Heller's Stream Beat, so I have the rights to use it. It's something real fucking elevator music corny. And it's like a little sultry guitar-like tune. And I don't remember everything I said exactly. It's actually highlighted and clipped somewhere in my stream archives. I said something like, Katie, I'm not your dad, but I'd be proud to be, because you're doing real great. You're really strong, and you're making important and tough choices for yourself. And whether people understand them or not, you're doing them because they're right for you. You're doing right by you. And I admire you for that. And I said some other stuff along those lines. And I don't remember what else. I tried to make a joke at the end because I got a little uncomfortable. Because it's not that I don't love Katie. I very much do. I did at the time too. But like, how do again, I'm talking to this little rectangle with blue lines on it, right? Like that's just kind of a strange experience. Like the parasocial relationship, even with someone you have a relationship with, is a very strange medium. But I did this, and I found out after the fact, like it was weeks after the fact, and I talked to them about it, that Katie, listening to that play out, had cried because she literally wanted that kind of a thing. A few months later, I was like talking to Katie and Quinn while both of them like worked up the courage and prepared themselves mentally to like come out to their parents, and they were bouncing ideas off of me, which is a hell of a role to be in. And how did that happen, right? Like, I mean, I've never done this. I've never come out to anybody. I think you should just be strong and represent yourself, and like don't take any shit. Like, I mean, that was kind of like that. So that was the start of it, anyway. And so after I did that, things kind of blew up, and they started calling me dad in stream. Like, everyone was just calling me dad, and I felt really uncomfortable about it again, because I didn't know what to do about it. The real reason was something that they kind of addressed for me, and so I started saying, I am your stream dad, your opt-in stream dad experience, to give them stream dad. I call myself stream dad, and then a lot of them appended stream dad, and people who came in and joined the community would start with stream dad as they acclimated and shorten it to dad, because people want the short name. Mm-hmm. They want a short name. Right, but they they also, I think, wanted the dad. So they we're trying to get there. And at one point, I'm not going to name her because she will probably remember this event, but just to give me shit, one of the trans women in my stream called me daddy, and the other 9 tackled her. They were like, no, Thades is dad, not daddy. I was like, oh God, okay, I don't control my brand. That is what this is. So I started saying that, and so every so often someone will say, ooh, can I call you daddy? And that's always the response. Thades is dad, not daddy.
I love it.
That's the brand. And after that, I just gave up, and I now have dad branding. Well, at one point, one of my emotes, I'm sure if I say this, one of my folks will put it in chat. They already have, probably. That dad emote, I didn't requisition that. I didn't ask for that dad emote. My artist said, I made this for you. I said, wow, that's really cute. I don't know if I should use that. She said, you're absolutely going to use this. And so she gave me everything I needed to make it an emote. And I said, all right, so what do I owe you for this? And she wouldn't accept any money for it. I never paid my artist for this stuff. I tried to pay her. I tried to like slip her more money through tips and stuff. I got yelled at. I tried to drum her up more business. I got yelled at. I was not allowed spiritually to pay for that dad emote. That was a gift.
My God.
So
that's so cute.
How did this happen, Barry? How did we get here?
I don't know. I'm constantly trying to figure that out. You and I started around the same time, honestly.
I guess so.
I started.
You were booming when I found you.
December of 2019.
So about was it about 4 months before me? I guess I started in late March.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You started around when I was playing Darkest Dungeon. I think is that how you found me? How did you find me? That is, in fact, exactly how I found you, was Darkest Dungeon. I was playing Darkest Dungeon. I was trying to figure out, so I still approach Twitch this way for the most part. Like, when I'm picking a new game for me to play, I want to make sure on my primary nights I'm playing a game that falls into sort of the Darkest Dungeon sweet spot where it has a community, but if you have in the teens for viewers, you're going to be in the top 3 rows. So you're on the first page. So if people search for a game, they're going to see you there. So I try to play games. Right. That's why I don't play World of Warcraft or Minecraft or some shit. It's just, you're on page 1,000. No one ever finds you. Or Elden Ring.
I mean, I will be playing Elden Ring at some point because my fans demand it, but I'm waiting for it to cool off a little bit so everyone will know the game but me because they liked that Dark Souls experience. So we're going to repeat that.
I wanted to do that, but I just couldn't resist.
I get it. I feel the pull. I understand. So I was trying to find folks in the Darkest Dungeon community, sort of have some community overlap with, and I didn't want to go in and be like, yo, I stream too, because even before I knew people didn't like that, it seemed tacky. Yeah. And so I kind of came in and just tried to become a member of the community, and I did that in several streams. I remember hanging out in Metric Second's stream for a while, and that was overwhelming, and then he stopped streaming at some point, and a couple of other streams. But your stream was the easiest to get along with and very welcoming and warming. And I mean, you're not my first experience with the furry. My high school friend is a furry. And he came out to me years and years ago, and he was so afraid to. He thought that I might think that I might not, I might get really weird about it or something. Yeah, it's
understandable that some people are really weird about it.
No, I know. You're right. I mean,
I'm really weird about it. I am a furry.
I mean, I remember, I've learned, you're all just aggressively fucking accepting. Of all communities that I have ever seen or encountered, furries are the most welcoming community I've ever even conceived of. It's remarkable. Yeah. How different I am demographically to you all, and how I just felt you know what? I feel like it's okay that I'm here. I don't know. You're so nice. I'm gonna
so
hang
much
out
more than okay that you're here. I'm so glad that you're here.
I guess so. I'm on your. You injected me into your branding. I hope it's okay.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Aggressively fucking accepting is lovely and sounds absolutely right. Yeah, that's absolutely right, Loki.
For my dad, that's me. That's my that brand I do control. I have control of these eyes.
What is it? Let's see. You said this is not your first, or I was not your first furry experience, I guess.
Sorry if that was an appropriate way to word. I love you very much. I'm
don't worry, I love it.
Hi, Sister Anna. Thank you.
Serena, hello. I was gonna ask a question, and it was melting in my head as I was asking it. Now it's completely gone. I guess, what do you think makes this community so accepting of someone like you?
Gosh, I I feel like, I mean, my ally systems kicked on immediately and said, "You are not qualified to answer that question, sir." I was like, I mean, he asked me directly. Should I say what I think?
I'd love to know what you think.
I'll give it a shot. I feel like just off the cuff, there's sort of like two. I think there's maybe two things came up. So we'll address two of them. One, someone in chat just spoke to, actually, currently bothered. I fear that's probably correct. I mean, being a man in America right now, we're not doing that great, right? We're not doing okay. Like, toxic masculinity has come to a goddamn head, and a lot of my friends, I can see them having trouble with it. Their ideas about what is acceptable are really, I'm not even centered on my own camera. I'm so sorry. I'm terrible. I do this all the time, I promise.
Oh, you're fine.
Their ideas of what's acceptable for them to do and how they can behave and what they're allowed to enjoy and say. Like, they have to have sex one way, the only way they're allowed to have it, right? Which is like, really? Dude, like, there's a lot more you can do, buddy. Like, I don't know what to hell do. Just to start, like, and they have to have there's just so many things. They have to dress a certain way, like the baggy pants, and like, you know, they can't wear clothes that fit them. You know, you have to drink something. It's got to be beer
cute.
or hard alcohol. It cannot be a mixed drink of any kind. In a lot of male spaces, it's like that, right? It's just really rigid rules about how to be a man, and none of them are happy. And they also have to see, and I mean, they have to misgender some of their children in some cases, because you gotta be the man I need you to be, because you gotta be like, you know, I can't have failed in my role in society. And that is in the back of their brain. They're not conscious of that necessarily, which makes it really insidious, right? Like that right there means that, I mean, I see this constantly in the alphabet mafia space, right? It's like everyone has that same shit happening. Like, you know, that's why, I mean, at some point, again, hashtag Thades doesn't control his brand, folks started calling me dad of the gays, which is a hell of a title. And like, it sounds like a lot of responsibility, but I mean, I know for a fact, first of all, that there are other men who are kind of doing something similar to me. I see them on TikTok a lot, like just doing like a little dad reel, doing shit that I was doing, like saying, hey, you're doing okay. You know, I love you. I'm your dad now. Make sure you drink enough water, like that kind of stuff, just to show approval. Right, which goes a long way, and I feel like LGBTQIA plus folks and furries cannot be the only folks whose dads are failing them right now in this country. I think it's like I don't mean to get too political, but it is kind of political. I think
it's totally
America
fine.
needs help. I think America needs help in the man department. I think we need better examples of how to be a man in modern society, and I feel like if you're asking me, the five humans on Queer Eye are what we should aspire to be as men now. I think those dudes nail it. It's the new one. It blew my mind. Like, it's nothing like it used to be. Like, it is. They still like help people dress better, but they full spectrum address the human. And one thing, like the episode that always sticks with me as my reference point is when they have the new element to the squad. Karamo is I am straight, but it doesn't really matter. He's a beautiful black man with a bald head and a really suave demeanor, and he will sit down with people and get into their heads with them in a safe way and help them understand what they need to start working on to grow as a human. And one episode, I'll never forget this, like the guy they were helping improve their life, like up their style and their game and their cooking and stuff, was this black guy who was running a gym, and he was paralyzed from the waist down because he'd been shot. He'd been shot because he walked into some other guy's house and threatened him with a gun, and he walked out all high and mighty, and the guy shot him in the back. And Karamo said, what do you feel about that now? And he said, you know what? I kind of regret it, but what can I do about it? And he said, you can apologize to the guy. And the guy's like, you know, this man in the wheelchair is like, how would I apologize to him? I threatened him with a gun and he shot me. And Karamo said, I think you should give it a shot. And he got them together. And the two of these men talked about what had happened, why the bullet, he threatened the guy because he was scared and really frustrated and made a really bad mistake. And the other guy shot him because he was terrified for his family. And he also feels like he made some mistakes. They hugged it out. They hugged it out.
Oh my God.
What? What? I mean, I remember telling my therapist this. She's a social worker with like 30 or 40 years experience in like domestic violence and all sorts of crazy shit. And she in order to take it easy on herself, she does therapy for people who aren't in those spaces anymore. But she's seen a lot of shit. And she was like, yeah, that's exactly what they should be doing. That would actually work way more than we think. I mean, that's crazy.
Wow.
Right? That's what men need. And we're not getting that. And so the first of the question to wrap up is that I think men aren't doing okay. And so we need a new idea on how to be men and how to be fathers. And I think that's one reason why a guy like me was able to sort of fit in here in the way I did. And I can't remember the other reason now.
Gosh. I kind of got lost in your story too. Holy shit. I'm gonna take a sip of my tea. I think I need that.
Yeah, good. Sorry about that. It was a hell of a dump. I'm gonna roll through there.
Don't get me wrong. Holy shit, this is amazing. You're doing incredible. You are an incredible person.
Oh gosh, thank you.
You are tipping the scale on masculinity. Okay, I want you to know that.
That's a big. Can I embrace my hubris for a second and admit to you all, I kind of want to do that. Like, I don't know, like, how else can I contribute and help, right? Like, it's not like I haven't made mistakes. I have, and I've looked back at myself 5-10 years ago. I think, God, you asshole, you could do better. But, I'm not going to look back on that and say, well, because I didn't do better then, I may as well want that now, right? I think I am doing better now, and I want other guys to do that too. And I think one way to do that is to kind of grab them by the shoulders and give them a shake. But on the other hand, just modeling it and showing, look, well, this guy's doing this stuff. And like, I mean, look, Thades looks like he's happy. I am. I'm the happiest I've been in my life. And like, he looks like he's healthy. I am. I'm doing okay. And like, all of that is because I'm making better choices for me that were only possible because I started asking really uncomfortable questions of myself. Like, how do I know I'm straight? Like, drilling into that. Like, how did I figure that? I mean, it's a meme, right? That, when did you figure out you were straight? And in terms of like,
right.
being gay is totally a normal thing. And we don't really pick that. It's not a choice. Did I choose to be straight? I mean, I kind of did at first because I didn't think about it. Now I know it's not a choice. It is who I am, but only because I spent a long time drilling into myself, trying to figure it out, like challenging all of my assumptions about me, which was deeply vulnerable. And a lot of men are afraid to do that. And I've asked a lot of questions of like myself in history, like why is that? Like what evolution? I mean, I don't want to talk about the evolutionary stuff. I don't have the background for it. And frankly, I think a lot of it's still colored in a lot of homophobia, and I don't know how to unpack that.
Probably,
smarter people than I am are. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm hopeful. And in fact, this kind of brings it back to out of nowhere. I think I told you to put a pin in a thing, right? So I had a member in my community for a little while, 6 months, who was he was like a whale. He was a big contributor, like to give a lot of money and subs and gift subs and bits and stuff. And he was like from the Midwest, a car mechanic, and he was very different from everyone else in chat. And there were moments I could tell he got a little uncomfortable, like being in the chat, because he was, I mean, I guess I can say this now. Like at the time I suspected, and I was correct in suspecting so, he was a right-wing, Trump aficionado who really wanted to hang out in my stream. And again, if he was in Quinn's chat, I fucking bonked him immediately.
Yeah.
He's gone, right? To protect that space, because you all need spaces you can feel safe in. I am in the demographic where I still wield the staff and walk as I wish, and people listen because they think they're coded to. That's fucked up, but I'm going to use it to my advantage for a little while to help. And so if he's in my stream, I'm not threatened by the guy. Right. And so how about I try to model, look, here I am hanging out with all of these LGBTQIA plus folks, and we're all having a good time. We're all human. We have things in common. Look at those things. Maybe he'll get it if I just give him space to grow. And so I did. And I remember a moment when we were all talking about makeup. my old chat just blew up talking about makeup. And one of the women in there said, Thades, have you ever tried makeup? And I said, I haven't, but I kind of wish I knew more about it. Like, I was watching a Queer Eye for the Straight Guy episode, or just Queer Eye now, they just call it Queer Eye episode. And the reason they dropped the for the straight guy part is because it's not always for the straight guy. In fact, this was for, actually, I think they were straight, but it was a trans man. And they were trying to basically settle into their transition and understand, like, they knew what they wanted to look like, but they didn't know how to get there. And the makeup artist for the team showed him how to use makeup to look more masculine. And I was like, wait, what? You can do that? And then it occurred to me, of course you can do that. Of course that's possible. Yeah. How do you do that? He didn't explain it. I was like, no. So I don't know any makeup artists. How do I use makeup to look more manly? And I guess I kind of do look manly, so I don't have to worry too much about it. I don't know too much about it, but sorry. But it would be a good skill to have. Right, I don't have it because it's toxic man code. Something says you can't learn makeup as a man, which is just bullshit. Can I just say a brief aside here? I guarantee you Ryan fucking Gosling has a skincare routine. Okay, so all those men out there who are worshiping Mr. Gosling and also getting shitty about moisturizer, the fuck is wrong with you? Right? Sorry,
gosh,
thank you.
Know.
I just needed to kind of step in there. I'm glad we had this talk.
So that was the story you wanted to get into about owing people or not owing people time and effort on.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
So I'm doing my best to teach this guy by example. And at some point I started talking to him behind the scenes. He offered to buy me a computer for the stream.
Wow.
At the time I was unemployed. And I was trying to find work. It was really hard because it was the lockdown. No one was hiring in my space. And I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? Unfortunately, unemployment and my savings were enough to get me through. But I was definitely getting to the point where I'm thinking, okay, I can count the number of months before I'm not sure how I'm going to feed my kids. That was a real thing. We all remember that. We all had our different pressures then. And so when this guy comes out and offers to buy me a computer because he wants to watch me play some games that he knows I can't play because my tech is too low, I feel really uncomfortable and weird about it because the man and I are very different philosophically. And I want him to grow more, and I don't want to feel like a financial link. And also I just feel weird. It's a very big gift to accept from anybody, even if.
I know.
Even if there was if Saraface offered to buy me a computer, I'd probably yell at her. I would be pretty fussy about it. I was like, no, you're not going to spend that much money on me. What are you talking about? That's crazy. Instead, she secretly spends it on me by sending me expensive soy sauce and shit tons of Penzi cinnamon. So I'm like, hashtag Saraface, I love you. She's really great. So this dude was really uncomfortable during that talk about makeup. I could tell him he started to make awkward jokes that had nothing to do with anything that was being talked about. Just trying to change the subject or express he was uncomfortable. He didn't cause a stink about it or anything. It just was clear he was uncomfortable, and then he kind of phased out of chat, which is fine. We all take space to take care of ourselves. It's not a weird thing. And he still kept coming around. So I thought he still kept coming around. Right. There was another conversation where it was literally just me and 6 trans women and him, and he ducked out of this conversation real fast, but they all just started talking about their experience in HRT, which, as an aside, was an incredible, humbling and gobsmacking experience for me, because I didn't know any of that stuff. I've learned so much about transitioning and the effects it has on the body and what you all go through and what you need. A lot of people just don't know that. Yeah. And I think now I am educating people on that in my spaces, which I hopefully is helping a little bit. And as unfortunate, but there's another conversation he just ducked out of because he got really uncomfortable. Right. All right, we'll cut to the end of the story, which was okay. We all remember January last year. It was not great. I had not had anything to drink for the entire year I was locked down. It seemed like drinking was not a great idea to me. I thought, you know what? I'm not a drinker anyway. I've never had a problem with alcoholism. It's not for me. But I feel like being locked in my house without a job is not the time for me to decide to have alcohol.
Right.
I'm just not going to do it. So I just stopped. And And then the insurrection attempt happened, and I remember I went live that night, and I just had a drink on stream and chatted with people. And then I had one more drink a few days later. And we just chatted. I think I played like Dark Souls again. I hadn't played it in a while. And a lot of people told me it was okay for me to stop playing Dark Souls because I was playing it by muscle memory at this point, and I thought it's really fun. But like, you can play something else now, Thades. We love it. It's fine. So I did a muscle memory run of Dark Souls on that Friday and had a whiskey, and it was like essentially like at the end of that week, like I talked to my mod team, like. I handpicked my mod team very specifically because they're folks that are like they're all like politically active and motivated humans, right? And so I thought, who better to police me in a stream where I want people to feel like, well, this guy's got the LGBTQIA plus tag up, but he's not one of us. But I mean, the people with the keys are their own words, gay as fuck. And so I feel like that was part of the plan, but also they were really good at helping me figure out how do I take care of these people, right? And it's been really handy. Another aside, when we have newcomers come in, and it turns out that like someone says, I think I may be trans. I love you. I can't help you, but I have a lot of people here who know a lot of stuff, and they'll get adopted, and they're okay, right? I've been a vector for that a couple of times now, which is like if my stream serves value, I think that's really one of the major ones it does. Right. But I try in general to make my stream an escape space for people. And so for the entire time since I started it, I have in big letters, no global politics. Right. If people want to talk about like general stuff about the community, that's permissible. That's fine. But I didn't want people talking about Trump in my chat, primarily because even though we all agree on it, it's stressful, and people needed to decompress somewhere. Like I unplugged from Twitter and Facebook, and I was like curating my YouTube and just very tightly, and like I just cut off all my social media because I couldn't take it anymore. Yeah, and Twitch was like how I communicated with the world, right? And so I wanted to be that space for people, and so I did that for a while. It was good for me, and it turned out to be good for other folks. But after what happened that day, I thought I have to say something. Mm-hmm. I have to say something. So I asked my mod team, is it okay for me to do that? I'm going to break my rule here. And unanimously they said, at some level, it would be good for everyone to know who it is you are. They want to know their dad's values, basically. Yeah. And so I did. I made an announcement about how I condemn the attack. I think this is like absolutely ludicrous and evil. And they went in there with the explicit goal of taking away the rights and freedoms of my family. And it's abominable. And if any of you are sympathetic to the people who went in there, this is not a place for you. And it was a couple of days later, the aforementioned guy that I talked about said, he messaged me and he said, hey, I'm all confused and a little sad that you got political on your stream where you said you'd never be political. Mm-hmm. And I said, I'm very sorry, but like I felt at this point I didn't have a choice. Like this is the kind of thing that if someone like me is silent, then the people whose voices aren't being heard are going to get hurt. So I'm not going to be silent. And he admitted to me the reason he had not been around for a couple of weeks in my stream, he wasn't there those 2 nights I was drinking on stream, the only time I had any drink, is because he was literally there in the Capitol building.
Oh my God.
Into the Capitol building. And I mean, the first thing I did was I tried to be the guy's dad. I said, look, we all make mistakes. I get it. You got swept up in it. It's exciting. It's new. And you're not happy with the way things are working. But that is not a path to making things better. And all I needed him to do was admit that he was wrong in going in there. That's all I wanted to hear from him. And he wouldn't go there, of course. Like, I remember, so just to give a little more context to this conversation, but 2 months before that, he confided in me that at one point in someone he believed to be a trans woman had like grabbed his son in a bathroom stall and assaulted him, and so he has this phobia. Like he said, I'm literally phobic of them, right? And setting aside whether or not it was actually a trans woman, one does not represent them all. And I said, you understand that like all of the people in our chat, I mean, sometimes they're all trans women. And they're not threatening. They don't want to hurt you. They're just like, they're really sweet. They're great. They're really fun. They're good at video games. Like, isn't that what you want in a girlfriend? Like, it's everything you want, right? I mean, the fucking kick your ass at Halo and fucking Call of Duty, and then you can cuddle and make out. Like, that's the dream, buddy. Like, that's what I wanted when I was trying to find a fucking girlfriend, and I couldn't in the goddamn 90s because they didn't play video. I'm sorry, this is a digression. They didn't play video games because they're freaking. They were for boys. Fuck you, Nintendo. I'm not over it. I'm so mad about it. Sorry. It's okay. Now a lot of ladies play video games, so it's fine. It just took some time to course correct what they did. Bringing it back down. So I tried. He did agree with me that the women we hung out with were great and that his phobia was unreasonable. And I thought, this is progress. Yeah. This is good. Like, baby, we're gonna get somewhere here. Can we like? And so to find out the fucker went in the Capitol building and tried to take the rights away of these human beings because he felt entitled to, which, I mean, I want to say for the record, it's unforgivable. And whether he had admitted it was a mistake or not, I was already planning on turning him into the authorities. But all of it was the punchline was I banned him from my channel, my community, from Quinn's channel, and from every other avenue I had. I blocked him after telling him that what he did was unacceptable. And then I talked to my mod team about it, and my lovely mods told me, Thades, we saw this coming from a mile away. We have been keeping a dossier on that motherfucker. We have screenshots of his cars he shared, his license plates, everything he's ever shared. We have all of it. And we are now packaging it up for the FBI.
Oh my God.
So, pretty sure he got talked to, we'll say. So, I mean, I guess that's the happy ending to a story. I'm still personally frustrated because I kind of want to save everybody. I can't.
It's not a happy ending.
No.
But it is I guess a justice ending.
It's like, it's grimly satisfying, I guess is the best I've got for it.
That is a good way to put it, yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh. Wow, that's an incredible fucking story. Holy shit, I had no idea that happened.
I mean, I don't talk about it very much. This is the first time I've talked about it publicly since it happened. It was over a year ago.
Wow.
I wanted to save him. I honestly did.
I can tell, and like I would know that about you. You're just that kind of person. You're the kind of person that wants to help and give people the chances that you can, and you did. And it doesn't always work. It rarely works, but sometimes it does.
Here's my self-aggrandizing loony line for you. I am the self-declared Gandalf of the Zoomers. I have been sent back until my task is complete.
Oh my God. Oh. Wow. I'm just processing this.
I'll try to fill the air while you.
No, you're fine.
Yeah. I'll probably. I mean, it's not this movie or the next one, but the movie after that, I'm absolutely gonna get killed by Darth Vader, and then Quinn picks my lightsaber up and fucks him up. So that's the next phase in the movies. So.
Oh my God, Quinn is amazing. Quinn
is fantastic.
Quinn rated
me, and then I started hanging out in their stream, and it's like I watched Quinn grow up in a way. Like this is another thing that felt weird at first because I mean, there's just a lot of shit. It's hard as a man in maybe anywhere, but certainly in the United States, to like have any kind of a relation. Like, I'm not allowed to have any kind of an intimate relationship with another human unless they are my child, and even then, that's very policed or my mate, and I'm only allowed one, and that's it. Like, you know, I'm not allowed to be friends with anybody that toxic masculinity perceives to be female, ever. That's just not allowed. Which is kind of, I mean, one, they break that rule all the time, but two, is really poisonous. And so we're all constantly grappling with that, I think. But that's like one of the things that hung over me. Like, Quinn's very young, and like, you know, there was never an aspiration in my mind to like date that human. But like, all the shadow is, what are people gonna think of this relationship if they see us hanging out? Like, I was always afraid of that at first.
Yeah.
I'm not anymore.
Oh, that's what freaking society and toxic masculinity says. It's like, oh, yeah. What are they gonna think? Oh, he's, you know, being inappropriate or whatever. It's stupid.
Unfortunately, I stopped caring about that, which helped a lot.
Oh, good.
But the second, I mean, it became impossible to sort of like ignore the fact that like there's a connection there with Quinn and Katie and I, and we sort of like, we bonded through the streaming and like hanging out in each other's chats and stuff. Watching Quinn play through Dark Souls and like helping them do that, because I'd played through it a lot, and they were really afraid of it. Gosh, it's hard for me to like enumerate. Like, it's hard to like look back on all of it and like cherry pick out events that said, oh, this is what really happened. This is how we really got to where we are. I guess the honest answer is I don't really know. I guess so. There was a moment a little bit after the dad redeem we talked about, which Katie told me recently. She saved that dad redeem clip. She has it in like her private Discord, so she can go back and watch it whenever she needs to, of me doing that dad riff for her. I should probably do it without the stupid Tarkus voiceover at some point. I have since then.
I saved the bit that I came on your stream recently, and I did one kind of redeem. I can't remember what it was. What was it?
It was the dad redeem. I remember.
It was the same one.
Yeah. It's the same
God.
redeem. It's been a staple in my. It kind of is the defining characteristic of the brand that I surrendered control of. That's like where that came from.
That absolutely made me cry, and I went and posted it in my own Discord.
Oh, honey.
So I could keep it. So I was like, oh my gosh, this was so good. This made me feel so good. Gosh, you're so sweet.
I had yeah, and so some weeks after that, I was in Quinn's chat. This actually feeds into a meme that people know about now anyway. But like I told we were talking, I don't know why we got on this goddamn topic. But I definitely at one point commented, I said, you know, they all said they don't floss because flossing's uncomfortable and it's like hurty. And a lot of people in the chat agreed, yeah, we don't do that flossing stuff. And I said, okay, but you really should though. And they said, you know what? Why, Dad? Why? And I said, because it removes the little chunkies that get stuck between your teeth. And I remember Quinn on camera going, oh, little chunkies. And then text him like, yes, little chunkies. There are little chunkies in there. And you get them out with the string or the water or the glide, whatever. Just get the chunkies out. It's better for your mouth. And you'll wake up and your breath won't be so terrible the next morning because you got the food out that the bacteria are pooping on. And they were like, oh, God. And I said, hashtag not your dad. And I recommend you reconsider flossing. And Katie responded in chat, please be my dad. And I guess that was really the moment. Like, Quinn stopped calling me Thades on air and started calling me dad, and would only clarify that I was Thades Hammer when they were talking about their bio dad and how horrible that human has been. And so, like, which, I mean, that's not my story to tell, but they talk about it on air every so often, so you can follow up with them there. But like, that really, I guess that was kind of the end. And now, I mean, they came to Thanksgiving here, like, because I wanted to make sure they had somewhere to go. But also, like, I wanted to be able to spend time with them and stuff. And I think holidays are when you go see your dad, right? And so I kind of like, I told them, look, I feel like we skipped a lot. Like, I wasn't there for you for the first like 20 years of your life. Like, I skipped a lot of the hard stuff as a parent. But also, I'm sorry I couldn't be there. But like, if you want to like make this kind of a real thing, why don't you, bring Katie, come to Thanksgiving. Let's have a holiday. Let's do that. And that was like, people call it ThadesCon in my chat now, but like, because I invited a lot of friends in the area, other streamers and stuff that I just know personally, and Quinn and Katie. So it's like the evolution of what has happened. And now we have a flossing emote that people are putting in stream, right? And so like,
yes.
I call that self-care propaganda. That's like how that happened. And now, when anyone asks me what's your proudest accomplishment of 2021, it genuinely is that I convinced 24 humans on Twitch to floss, because like everyone in Quinn's chat was saying, "Yeah, we're all flossing now. Like, you got me back into flossing. Thank you." I was like, "I did that. I have improved oral health. Hashtag not a dentist."
Oh my gosh.
I'm really proud of it.
You should be.
I don't know how this happened, Barry. Oh my God, divergences. I found you via Darkest Dungeon, and I was hanging out in here and like just understanding that like you had so you had 40 people in here, and I had like 5 to 7, and you're like, so to me you were like you still are a big deal. You still have a ton of people in here all the time.
It's about the same.
I mean, yeah, depending on what you're playing, you'll blow up though. Like your oh God, your FromSoft streams will pull a lot of folks, And so watching you do that, anyway, I don't know. And your energy is just like unparalleled in my mind. Like the fact you play the hardest, grittiest, meanest games to you, and then no matter how many times that same Bloodborne boss kills you in one hit, you enter the room, you die, you were laughing the whole time. Like your frustration, if it exists, it only manifests in joviality and like good cheer, and like that is an enviable power. I wish I had that.
I literally spent 20 hours fighting Ludwig on
I remember
Blood Level 4 run. Literally 20 hours just running into the boss fight and fucking dying. It was just like I wasn't even paying attention anymore. I was just chatting and things were happening, and I would like get halfway through the boss fight and die, and I wouldn't even notice.
I mean, that is the kind of energy we all need. I kind of had that in Dark Souls by pretending to be like the OSHA inspector, but I had to roleplay to get over how mad I was every time I died. Like, I want to speak with your manager. Dead! All right. Look, that is just not an appropriate way to talk to the OSHA inspector. Dead!
I've tried to get angry at games before. In fact, part of one of my the segments of a marathon that I did was called Anger Management. Getting over it with my friends Crudberry and Ditherkins. And they were there to help me manage to be angry. So it was anger management.
Oh, wow.
It didn't work.
I mean, have they not seen the Grumpy Berry redeem?
They were angry.
Speaking of redeems, you have my favorite redeem on Twitch. Have we talked about that?
It's not active right now.
What? I can't squimsh you right now? I'm hovering right over it.
Hold on.
It's unavailable.
Hold on.
No.
Just for you.
No, I can't. Oh, God.
Okay. Just for you. Let me go Squimfairy. Unpause. There you go.
Slowly.
How would you do that? It's literally less than a...
Yes, everybody! Quick while it's open!
Squimshed. Deflated.
Yes! Oh, gosh.
Exposed to a squinching blow.
Oh, thank you, everybody. I'm so thank you, the Raft, Hanasuku, Digital Deer, Azalea, Pickle Pizzas, Fragioni, Stevish, Midnight Monstrous, and Loki, Serena, Decorum. Wow. Barry is approximately 16 pixels tall.
Exposed to a squinching blow.
Blaine!
How could you?
Exposed to a squinching blow.
I had almost 10,000 points. I've been really good about saying that.
Squimshed. Deflated.
There's like a pixel there. That's amazing. Wow.
No, let Barry teach you how to say my name. That's villain.
Oh, I'm so sorry, villain, and thank you for correcting me.
Even more correctly,
squimshed with impunity.
It's possible that I mispronounced Fragione's name too.
Squimshed.
Oh yeah,
deflated.
I just learned today that their name is pronounced Wunny. Reggie Wunny.
Yeah.
Squimshed. Deflated.
So I wrote that next to their name. Did you know you could like edit people's name in Twitch chat?
If you have better Twitch TV.
Deflated.
Oh, is that it? Is that it? Okay.
Yeah. I have personal disagreements with how they approach software philosophy, so I do not use better TV.
I'm gonna have to ask.
It's not a very interesting conversation. The summary is, I think they are pompous. So I don't use this shit.
Good enough reason. Yeah, it's Hanasaku. Hana. I fucking love the amazing people in this community, in this Twitch chat right now, in your community. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, I've been very lucky in the friends I have here. I've also I recognize so many of these names because I'm in your stream almost every time you're live, whether I'm silent or not. Like,
gosh, that just blows me away that someone as incredible as you wants to be here so much. I'm half the time I'm just being a scatterbrained goober running around in a video game and not knowing what to do or say.
I mean, it's. Do you know what your brand is, Barry? That's the question, right? Do you know
what
your
is
brand?
my brand?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. I mean, the punchline is that I probably don't know because I'm not my brilliant friend who nailed my brand in a heartbeat. But I mean, from my point of view, it's the atmosphere you generate, the energy you carry, right? I didn't come in here for your skill at the games you're playing, but you're remarkably good at them, by the way. You're way better than I am at Darkest Dungeon. I learned a lot about approach to the game watching you play, and I'd logged a lot. I've been playing Darkest Dungeon since early access. I played a shit ton of that game. And so I learned a lot watching you play it. So your skill is notable, but it's not it's not the thing you push. The thing you push is your laugh and how fun it is to be here. You're having a good time because you're laughing, and everyone I look at the shit where's Barry? Oh, right. Well,
oh my gosh.
I mean, I think that's a mood, Loki. I feel the same way. I have to it's it's the line between proper humility and actual ignorance of how important oneself is it's not really clear to me. I think it's kind of a big fat overlap because we're I think we teach our kids to be humble by kind of browbeating them into believing they can't be special, so they don't talk about being special, which is not the same. It's not the same as humble, right? Telling someone to not brag is not the same thing as telling them, there are people who are better at this than you are anyway. Those are two very different approaches to this stuff. There are people who, like Barry and like me, generate very warm, happy vibes. Twitch is actually full of these humans. I think the Twitch is not what I thought it was at all. There's so many communities on here where just like these, this cell we have of 50 folks here, or the 50 folks in Quinn's chat, and the overlap we have in these clouds, the 30 to 40 regulars in Michael's chat, Club's chat, all of these these streamers I've met, and this cloud of humans that we have little. I don't know how to map the connectivity out. But I know for a fact there are streamers in this chat that I don't know were streamers, and that they have communities that I would know people in and would enjoy. That's just a thing. There's so many people who are good at it. I only have so many hours in the day to connect with people, which is an unfortunate just limitation on my ability. But
oh gosh, that's a mood.
I mean, but
I've spent so much time while streaming, even clicking on new names and seeing that they stream by basically how many followers they have. If they have more than 10 followers, I'm oh, they stream.
That isn't necessarily true now. I will sometimes get someone affiliated if they've never streamed before by getting people to follow them.
That's true. And I'll follow them, and now I open my Twitch page and there's literally probably 30 to 50 people currently live that I'm following.
Except when I have to raid somebody, then they're all in bed. When it's time to raid, they're all gone.
It's crazy. There's so many of them, and I try to check them out when I can. I have less and less time nowadays to just sit in streams I love to do, but I still do it. And gosh, what an amazing thing it is to make friends and see their own communities thrive.
it's such a unique way to hang out and play with people too, right? Like I mean, I am a performer, but I mean, is this really performance anymore? Like, I mean, this is a far cry from being on a stage making people laugh with other improvisers, right? It's just like I sit in my chair and we just kind of bond. It's much more like these folks are sitting on my couch with me while I play a video game. The game is maybe not the topic of conversation, right? We're just kind of hanging out together. Oh, you return!
I return as my flesh Sona to match you. Hold on, let me actually share it on. Oh wait, no, can I do that? Can I share it on screen?
It's a little tricky. I end up just sending the virtual camera up.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Careful, OBS has unique. So yeah, behind the scenes, everybody, your dad is an OBS nut, and so it's yes.
I'm literally just gonna send you my OBS.
Oh, that'll work. Thank you. There we go. Yes. Do you operate on one scene, Barry? Oh no, that's I see now. You just have
oh no, I don't have as many scenes as you do.
I don't know what the count is right now. It's over 300. It's 300 and maybe 10, 308, 312, somewhere around there.
That was literally a question I had written down to ask you: is how many scenes do you have in OBS?
I can run a script to find out.
Oh gosh. You just have to go into your webcam properties and unclick the let a program take over this device exclusively box. What? Why would that be a thing? Why would that be a thing? I guess to enhance privacy and make sure that other things aren't using your webcam when you think only you are, but I don't know.
If OBS has taught me anything, it's that you know that scare people have about like hackers taking over your webcam to watch you from your laptop or whatever. There's no fucking way. Like the fucking webcam drivers are so fucking unstable. You would know if they were trying anything. And if you're running OBS ever, good fucking luck. Like nothing else is getting that webcam. OBS has got it.
Oh my gosh. Yep. Hi Ty. How's
305 scenes is the current count.
305 scenes.
I did delete some. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's insane.
I mean, I guess what can I do this? What can I do to like? Oh, so I'm just sending you video, so it doesn't really matter. I can just actually switch over to like. Here, fuck it. Here, you're all coming with me. Ready? Oh God, this is actually my stream. I'm nested in Barry's stream. Don't tell Barry. He might be scared. Hang on. This is why I have so many scenes. So I have this total control. Let me turn this fucking camera off, and then I can actually turn on the right screen share, and there is my OBS.
Oh my God.
Maximize it.
Let me zoom in for everyone.
I'm so sorry you'll have to deal with this right now. Here are all my scenes. This is my OBS. My poor viewers have seen this shit. They see it like at least once a stream. I do this because something breaks and I fix it live. So what the hell is wrong with this guy? And so I have scenes to like, essentially handle any. The top 3 scenes are just cameras and shutting everything off. But I have like all of my transitions are done by like Stream Deck script. I don't use any fancy transition videos. So the static you see me run, all of these scenes you see, there's multiple versions of this, for instance, because there's transition. So I come in here and there's no camera, and then this comes in and transitions in that way. And then when it's time to fade in, like here comes the first camera, and there's several scenes to do the fade in so that it all happens and then becomes this final. Like it's all about like nesting shit and having full control at every second.
Oh my
all of these are full camera scenes for various things I want. I have the game scene you saw where I play my games and there's cameras everywhere. All of these, when I do my stream opening up, I dance to music that I've asked permission to use. All of these are live. When you see this shit, it's really me dancing when I'm doing this stuff. It's not a video. This is all real. There's just different filters and shit. And then I can break. Oh, I make my guests dance too when I have guests.
Yes, I remember doing that.
I have a million scenes that are just variations on the camera, so I can nest it different places and flip it around, and so I can have them all in one scene. So instead of having one camera I drag around and change and stuff, I have a dozen. So I can hit buttons, and that way I can turn them all on. So if I'm like, here, this scene is where all my cameras live. So I can like actually turn them all on and have like any cameras I want. And it's just, then the shit breaks. It gets really funny to do that.
Oh my gosh.
We're doing the tour here.
Nesting among nesting.
Oh, when it says for nest, what this means. Oh, these are in development scenes. These aren't as good as the other ones. Whoa. This one didn't work as well as I wanted to, but you can kind of see what I was going for here, right? You can kind of see doesn't work that well. For nest means it does not have any of my audio in it, because I had this problem early on where if I took a scene with audio in it and nested it in a scene with audio in it, it would double the volume, because OBS,
God.
it's additive. It just stacks it all. It makes it really, really loud. So my stream volume was super volatile as a result. So I have them labeled as for nest, so I know it's safe to put inside of another scene, which I do constantly. All of these dance scenes are just scenes nested in each other. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 2, 3, 4. So 9 times 4 plus 5, 6 scenes. 27, 28, 30, 23.
42?
This is 33 live scenes on this camera right now, including all the nesting.
9, 18, 27, 36 plus 6.
Did I do that math right? I don't know. Also,
42
more.
42 scenes nested right there.
Yes. 34. Because.
34. Okay.
Because if you look down in the bottom, all of like over here, every scene has my microphone scene and my audio scene in it. And again, I'm actually short by a scene. This microphone scene has 3 scenes in it. Microphones. I want to show you how crazy your dad is. Okay. Why do I have all these microphone scenes? This is the scene with my microphones. It's labeled microphones. What's in it? Microphones, nested source for muting. Why? Well, if I want to mute my microphones, okay? Can you even see it anymore? You can't see it anymore. I'm so sorry.
No.
Hang on. You can't see. Hang on. I have an idea. I can fix it. Barry, hang on. I can fix it. I forgot. I don't have control of it right now. Here. Thank you for the follow, Digital Beer. There it is. Okay, look on the left side over here. Let's go back to the microphone scene in studio mode, so you can still be with me here. It's nested. Source for muting. Why would I do that? Well, if you turn a source off, if you toggle a source off in OBS, it no longer generates sound or video. And so that will effectively turn my microphone off.
Right.
Okay, you might say that, Thades, but you could just mute the microphone scene, right? Well, I could when I had only one fucking microphone, but actually I have this many microphones. So what? These are the backup microphone. Okay, the Mic G-Track. I don't use that anymore. I use a Shure MV7 now. There's only one physical microphone, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 virtual microphones, and my little screen, my source here to control closed captioning. Closed captioning is complicated. I'm not going to tell you how that works. Don't worry. It's an even deeper dive. But I have all these voice modulators. So I can like sound like I can jump my voice up for the Ultros character or drop it deep for Tarkus. I have a space echo and the robot sound, which I've never used on stream. It does not work very well. I don't like it. So it's still in development, that one. But that's why. So if I hit one button and I mute the nested scene inside of this microphone containing scene, and one button will mute my mic audio, no matter what processor I'm using, all the time I have complete control of the audio.
Amazing.
I am a little... I do this a lot.
Yeah.
I have a problem, Barry.
It's important to you, and you told me as much. You told me specifically that the art that's most important to you is your stream, your production quality, and your approach.
Does it count as art? I want it to.
Yes.
Because this is where
absolutely
I spend all of my
it counts as
creativity
art.
energy.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, no.
Of course it does.
There we go. There's my filter and stuff. And then we're gonna do.
Oh my goodness.
Wrong one.
Oh my goodness.
Right one.
There we
go. Fixed it. I fixed it. Hi everybody, I'm back. It's me. Sorry.
That was amazing. And
hang on, if that was uncomfortable, it can be really jarring to go from weird shit back to a normal camera. So we'll go back to this camera for a second. So there's like folks can acclimate and you can feel more comfortable. So this is like, it's still me, but it's like a special effects version of me, a much more attractive version, if you ask me. The lighting is much better on the camera.
What program do you use for that?
Is it not the most popular one? I just Googled to find out what to do this for, because you all have sick ass GIF tubers, and I really wanted a sick ass GIF tuber.
We call them PNG tubers. It's
I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Just 2 PNGs, and it looks like yours is reacting to more than just sound on or sound off. It looks like it's reacting a bit to like what sounds you're making. Is that true?
Yeah, it is VEA VideoTube. VideoTube Mini.
I've never heard of that.
I'll link it. Let me see if I can link
Please
it.
do.
It has I can find this thing. You can actually see it like popping up.
What
here.
if no furry knows that this exists, and you're
oh my god! If I could
about
bring
to
this
just...
to you all, your dad is here to help you. Hang on.
You use it too, Hana. Oh my gosh.
It is a great program. I gave them like $10 for it because they said give what you want, and like I feel like it's a goddamn steal. I should have given them way more money. It's so great. So there it is right there. So it takes, you have, for each mood you create, and I don't know how many moods you can create. Right now I only have 1 mood. You can have 4 PNGs for it.
Whoa.
2 are for the idle. 1 is just idle. Floats around. And 1 is for blinking. And also, when you talk, your mouth opens, and there's a blink and mouth open. But because, I'm a little bit, I have a different approach to my stream than people would have, so my use case is not exactly the proper one. So when my head goes off to the side there, that's technically a talking blink. And so I'm only using...
Okay.
Yeah, and so like my static image... That one right there is actually both the normal and the blinking animation, but I decided today behind the scenes, I'm going to change the blink to just be the top of my head just sliding off for a hot second and back to look really fucking cursed. I haven't done that yet, but that's the next plan. But yeah, that's the app.
I love that. Oh my gosh.
Let me turn this weird. I can only take so much of this. That's a lie. I love that fucking animation. I'll use it all day.
It's perfect. It's perfect. And the background that you have is... You keep it the same apparently because there was a completely smooth transition back into.
My hair is shorter. The lighting is different. It's the same shirt and vest and glasses, but
well, if the lighting was different, then I'm just not able to.
It's subtle.
See that
It was better Friday night when I actually like had to hide behind my desk with the chair in position and then take the photo with me under the desk so I'd have the actual backdrop for my collab stream. And then I sat down in the chair and I just hit the button, and that was fucking seamless because the camera hadn't moved. And so like the lights were the same, everything was the same, and everyone, it took a minute for people to realize what the fuck was happening. It's my favorite special effect ever.
I love that. I love that so much. It's Canadian Simulator.
Yeah, shout outs to, I have a lot of, I'm sure we all do. I have some umbrage with how the South Park creators have conducted themselves.
Understandable.
In the more recent history. But like, that Canadian episode, the very first one, I'll never forget that. I was a kid, it was like late 90s when they did that shit. And the Canadian thing is just really funny. The bouncing heads. And also shout out to Jib Jab, that like card thing where they sing and they do the weird thing with the bouncing heads and blah, 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 like that. Really fucking funny. That's basically where it came from. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for letting me do that.
I loved that. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Okay. I have a big question for you. You said that you told me very recently that you have big dreams about your Twitch community and how they interact with others. What are those dreams?
If I wanted to get super pie in the sky here, my biggest dream is to turn my stream into a charity somehow. like to like be the vehicle. Like, I mean, the reality is, I feel like, I mean, Quinn is going to be big. Quinn has a magnetism. They have a like this fiery force of nature and the magnetism. People want to hang out in their stream, and very JFK style. No matter what Quinn says, people are like, yeah, and thank all of the gods that Quinn is on the right side with that energy. And so like Quinn's gonna be a very powerful force in the community. I feel like I'm predicting 10 to 15 years Quinn will be massive. So that's actually what's happening. I'm just like gonna tell Quinn you can do it, and then they will do it. That's the reality. But I think it'd be great if my stream could go to a place where I could like actually generate real profit and then funnel that into an org.
Gosh, that would be amazing. And I know some people that do that too. It's incredible. I
want it.
Gosh, I want to do that too. I would love to do that.
Oh, maybe the thing you meant was the thing I had mentioned to you. Like, yeah, so the more pedestrian dream was that like your people are amazing and my people are really amazing, and I feel like there's like it's a weird I don't know what the line in the sand is. I don't understand. Again, as the ally, the cards coming out in the back of my head saying, Thades, allies don't talk about this. Shut the fuck up, Thades. I'm like, I shouldn't say this, right? Feel free to cancel me if this happens. I'll eat my shoes.
I cannot imagine that happening. Oh my god.
I mean, it's probably just coincidence, but like I want to see like more like LGBTQIA plus cells of humans. Like it makes sense that they gather together because they have things in common. There are cells of just trans women, cells of just trans men. Like the non-binary folks have cells, like gay folks have cells, ace folks have cells, furries have cells, but furries, you also have overlap here, right? Furries, but also everything under the Mach alphabet is represented in here, right? I mean, yeah, but you also, because furry is the tag you sort of identify as primarily, if I may say so, people in this chat are like you fall under the Alphabet Mafia rainbow everywhere, right? It's not just like, it's not predominantly ace folks, for instance, which it is in some cells on Twitch. And I would like to, like, if your dad could do anything, it'd be to bring you all together. Like, I think like that's kind of like the more realistic dream. We'd be like, why aren't you all hanging out more? Like, and like having you and Quinn and a collab on my channel.
Oh my gosh.
For the record, collaborating with you at all was like my 2 year ago streamer dream come true. I want to go back 2 years and be like, you're gonna make it, dude. Just stick at this. Like, there's like 5 people in here and I keep dying in Enter Rolando. What do you mean this is gonna work? It's gonna work.
That still blows me away. That just feels so silly that you would feel that way about me. But like, gosh, first of all, I'm honored and I'm so happy that I can achieve that dream for you by being starstruck in front of you.
Oh, God. That's not supposed to work. Various then. You're the big streamer. I'm the little fish in the biggest pod. But yeah, I mean, Yuki, thank you for saying so. It's true that like, so the humans that predominantly make up my community are demographically very different than me. And I feel very lucky about that. And we talked about sort of the reasons why I think that's happened. But like also the demographics in sort of your stream community and furry communities in general are as diverse or more diverse. And that kind of breaks the rule that I just talked about, how I had observed otherwise. Like, there are cells of folks that seem to glom together based on the thing that they're either exploring about themselves at the moment, or that they primarily identify as, in addition to the other things. Like, they have the one thing that's, I am, just for instance, this person will say that they are ace and their pronouns are any. And, the thing that they are most comfortable with or excited about, or is like the thing they say first, just for instance. Like, it seems like these cells happen. That's and why? Well, sure, but why? I guess but your community has a lot of different people in it,
right?
Like, and they're all proud of who they are, and they all share their experiences, and I think that's all great. I just like, I want to see more of these bubbles come together. That was the dream I was trying to articulate for you, and I feel like, just like you and Quinn have this magnetism that draw people to you, and I feel like that's maybe what's happening. And so like, I want to emulate that and help and do that, and like that's the thing I was trying to like sort of put into words there.
I would absolutely adore that. honestly. Like, especially mixing furries and non-furries, as silly as that sounds. Because, okay, there's this weird separation that happens when someone is a furry for long enough. At least this is my experience and a lot of my friends' experiences. When you're a furry for long enough, you look at someone, and if they're not a furry, you're like, oh, they don't understand like what I've gone through with my own self-exploration. And if they are, they're like, they've gone through this thing that they understand how I feel about this thing. So it's so much easier to connect with other furries than people who aren't furries. But we're all people. Sure. We're all weird, crazy, deep, varied people that can get along and be close with each other. And I think pushing past that invisible boundary is an extremely powerful thing to do, and it could have really good results.
I mean, I agree with you. I have mixed feelings about it. We'll go into, I guess, now.
Yeah, go ahead.
One is, it's like, again, I feel like it's not my place to talk about it. But that's just going to be a constant.
I'm asking you to talk about it.
Okay, it's too late. And then, but yeah, like, so, like, I still think, which I'd mentioned earlier, it's very important for each of these cells to have their own spaces. Like, it's not that they're isolating, and I think that's unhealthy. That's not the case. I think it's very healthy, because, I mean, for the reason chat's also saying too, like, there's instant empathy, right? Like, I mean, there's a reason that you find another furry, you're like, oh God, you're in the foxhole with me. So let's, that kind of experience,
Don't
right?
say it like that.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Fuck. Hang on. I have a thing that might work on this camera. There. Okay. This makes it easier. I would like to take this moment now to apologize to all of you for the way I worded it, which in software design with other straight white guys works just fine. And, you know, I'm just learning more every day about the world, and I appreciate you all making this a teachable moment for me. And I hope to continue growing with you all. Thank you for having me.
And yet you're not wrong. Oh no.
Oh God, I lost my point. So look, I get it. I think there should be that clustering. Like, you all need those spaces. Like, and I'm not saying we should merge them all together, because I feel like if that happens, some voices are going to get drowned out again. And I say again because the whole reason we form off in these groups is so that you're no longer silenced. You can be heard and understood. And I don't want that to go away. And I would like to make spaces where we can get together too. I mean, this is not a shout out for me. Go to Michael Grom's
yes,
stream.
Yes, it is. Please go follow Thades Hammer.
Okay. So my stream is a space like that. And Barry's stream is often a space like that too. And that's like what I've been trying to get my folks in here more, and trying to get Quinn and you to connect more. Because I think like that is the kind of overlap that can really, I mean, it's just going to help you two grow and make more money, so that I don't have to worry about you two anymore. For one reason. But also, like, that's the dream, is like bringing more humans together. And I think, yeah.
All right. So, okay. Help me understand, because I also completely lost the context after that.
After the thing that I didn't say.
Yeah. We need to make a stream team now and call it the Foxhole.
No, God.
You said you had some reservations about something. I wasn't exactly sure what it was about that divide between furries and non-furries.
Oh, I feel always weird speaking on that stuff. Again, so I guess what I was thinking in there was the thing I tried to speak to and butchered it by talking about a certain World War II reference, which is no longer appropriate in modern society. in mixed company. But it's just like, I guess I was trying to say, I understand that the reason that these separations happen is a valid one. Like, if you all need to have conversations, another very humbling moment for me, this has happened several times to me now, but the first time I remember being in, one of my viewers, again, I'm in a trans woman Discord server. It's like a dozen trans women and me. How did that happen? It's a long story. I don't understand it. And boy, do they give me hell sometimes. Like, be careful, Thades, we're going to trans you. Like, we're going to watch Matrix together. We watched the Matrix together, which, by the way, shout outs to the fucking Matrix. Like, I've watched that movie 100 times. I love it very dearly. And then I found out recently it was a trans allegory. I'm like, wait, really? How did I not know that? And I watched it. It's fucking obvious. It is obvious. It is screaming in your face.
I still haven't
the red
watched
pill,
it since
idiots,
learning that. And
it's estrogen, motherfuckers. Like, that's what that pill is. It's so obvious. The whole movie is exactly that. And then I was watching it for the first time with that eyeball. I did it with Quinn and Katie, and it was obvious. I watched it again with Erica and Jane and like a whole bunch of folks that I love very dearly. And like, so it's a good movie to watch. But anyway, like every so often I'm in their stream and I'm talking to them. And then all of a sudden they start talking about like some really uncomfortable experience 2 of them are having with their HRT experiences, and the rest of them talk about, what they've had and what to worry about. And like, that's not a conversation that I have any part in. So I didn't say anything, of course. And it's not for me, of course. But it was really humbling and scary to me that like they knew I was there and they just didn't mind. Like, that's just dad. That's fine. We're just talking about this stuff in front of dad. But that was really the energy that happened there. So so I've seen these spaces, and they need to exist, because that kind of conversation can't happen at family Thanksgiving. It can't happen at when your brother's birthday party. It can't happen when you're hanging out at the Super Bowl party. I think it should be okay in those spaces.
Yeah.
And I want to get the world to a place when that's okay. It's certainly okay if I had a Super Bowl party. Talk about whatever you fucking want. Here, I had Barry on the big screen TV playing Jump King at Thanksgiving here. So I want everything's on the table.
Jumpsgiving.
It's fine, but it was Jumpsgiving in Jump Kink, which I spent a lot of points bringing back, and I'm so happy it happens still. It's very nice for me. Thank you. I should just play Jump King on my stream. I'd be really bad at it, though.
Oh my gosh, you should. As much as you scream about it in my chat.
It's mostly about watching specifically you, Barry, fall 12 fucking screens
If you
that
play Jump
took
King,
you an hour to get up and laughing the whole fall.
if
like,
you
it
play
was
Jump
like
King, I want to be there.
Oh, I mean, I'll definitely schedule it so you can be. I'll put you on camera with me so you can give me shit the whole time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so anyway, that's what I meant by having like reservations about speaking to it. Like,
Okay,
I don't want to
I
take
got
those
you.
spaces away. I don't want folks to think I'm saying they shouldn't be a thing. They need to be a thing. I want them to be a thing. You don't need me to stake any ground for you to do that, obviously. It's like that's exactly what it shouldn't be. Like, it shouldn't have anything. Literally, my demographic has been the problem. Don't listen to me.
I will say, furries do not have a problem. There is no problem there when it comes to furries being attracted to each other. So I think having more, what would the word be? Maybe not outlets, but connections with other types of communities would be super good, super good. I know there's a very popular streamer named Buff Pup that I found when I first got into like furry Twitch about 3 years ago. Gosh, 3 years ago. And they had like 30 concurrent viewers at the time. And I got hooked on Buff Pup. I was subbed to Buff Pup for like 2 years. And as they grew and as they like explored themselves, they found out that there was a lot more to themselves than being a furry. And they just sort of like, they were friends with a bunch of furries, but they didn't really see themselves as one anymore. And that's great. That's great that they found themselves more. And they kind of, through that, made a connection from furries to other communities, especially in the VTuber space. You own a Buff Pup shirt. Oh my gosh, Villain, that's amazing. Now they have like 1,000 viewers at a time. It's crazy. They're amazing. I haven't watched them in a while because bigger streams like that tend to overwhelm me. But
no, me too.
It's amazing. It's amazing what they did. Pelanova. Was that BLFC 2019? Because I watched Lino Yin stream that panel live. That was crazy. Okay. All right, I asked that question. I wrote down. That's right. You're doing your Streamiversary soon.
Oh gosh.
What are you doing for your Streamiversary, Thades?
I don't know what to do, honestly. Like, so behind the curtain, I'm talking to you right now, and I moved Discord to be easier to see. And on my other monitor now, my VTuber with the head bouncing everywhere is very visible, and I'm gonna have to move that window because it's really distracting. I gotta fix it. That was a lot. I was like, "What the fuck is catching my peripheral?" Oh, it's me. It's the cursed version of my face.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't have the whole 12-hour, 20-hour stream shit in me. I can't do that. I did a 13-hour stream once for Thanksgiving year before last because, my sons were with their mom for that holiday, and I didn't. It was lockdown. I didn't have anywhere to go. Couldn't really go anywhere. Like, I usually go to friends for Thanksgiving, and it wasn't happening that year because of the plague. So I streamed for 13 hours, and I was dying at the end of it. Like, it was too much. For one thing, it turns out that being neurodivergent, my particular brand of neurodivergence is that having this key light right in my face is extremely overstimulating to me.
Oh gosh.
And,
yeah, I don't have one right here. I have a small one right here.
My shot. This is my shot. It's got to look good, and this
looks
how it
amazing.
Looks
good. This is a mess.
I think you're doing great. No, don't get me wrong.
That's why I stay as a VTuber.
I mean, I had the option. Maybe I'll just turn that back on in a second so people can. Yeah. So like, I should by rights turn my exposure even lower and then crank that light because the depth gets better, but I can't handle it. So. Why did I start talking about my key light? What happened, Barry?
Streamiversary.
Oh God, I can't stream for very long, and so I'll probably. And also, I'm not sure where to actually stake the flag for the Streamiversary because there's like my literal first go live, which was to no viewers because I just does it work. And I think I played Undertale for like an hour or so with a friend watching, and that was it. And then I fired it up a few days later with Darkest Dungeon, and then I had like Sarah and somebody and Slaxor in there, and they hung out with me for a while until they talked to me into like, no, so really you're gonna do the Dark Souls, right? And it was like a couple weeks, and I fired up Dark Souls, and that's where I got carried away. And so like Dark Souls is kind of like the actual birth of the stream. And I oscillated between Dark Souls and Darkest Dungeon a little bit, and that's how Quinn came in. So what's the birth of the stream? First go live, my first actual stream, the day that Quinn raided me, the Dark Souls kickoff, and I don't have fixed dates.
What do you want to celebrate?
I mean, I want to celebrate all the time. Twitch is the best thing that's ever happened to me in a lot of ways. Like, it really is. Like, there's just no... There's no way around that.
Here's the thing about anniversaries and birthdays and all that. It's something to celebrate, and people think that you have to do it on that day, or else it doesn't count or something, which is stupid. Celebrate it however you want, whenever you want. Just pick a day. Be like, okay, this is a good day. I'm celebrating my stream beginning anniversary today. It happened this day. But we're celebrating right now. That's literally all that matters.
I did kind of I felt like, so thank you. I feel less like it was a cop out last time I did this, but last time what I did was I just said, okay, I don't know which date it is, so I'm going to do something special on all of the days. So
if you want to, do it.
So did that. One thing I keep saying I'm going to do, and I'd never do it because I'm worried it'll be not that fun, is I have used public. So Nosferatu is in the public domain. And
Nova, yes. She says you should do a stream journey start anniversary. She's listening from downstairs.
So it shall be.
Encompass what? She says encompass all of it. That way you don't have to pick. I'm not exactly sure what that means.
Well, I'll figure it out. I'll work with the details.
Maybe she means good. Like what we were talking about, having it on every single one of them. It's like a different style of celebration on each one of them.
The entire month, March Madness.
That's what we always did with birthdays growing up. We're like, hey, it's your birthday, celebrate. It's your birthday the whole week.
I mean, that'd be fine, a whole week.
Any excuse to be like, oh, it's still your birthday. Hey.
You can do the week. So, I mean, I've used Nosferatu as functionally stock footage for a lot of reasons on my stream. I used to use it. So I have dancing in my chair opener with all the weird effects screens and stuff because this is the background for all this. So I wanted to like figure out how best to open my stream. Everyone has a starting soon screen. And I thought, I guess I should do that, but is that a good idea? And I watched a couple of statisticians talk about it because that's the kind of man I am. I watched like Harris Heller. I mean, I have a lot of mixed feelings on Mr. Heller, but early on in my stream career, he is how I figured out how to get going, and I learned a lot from the guy. And so statistically, every minute that a stream is live without the streamer on camera, you lose 10 to 30% of your viewers. And I mean, those numbers are not fixed. And I know there are definitely exceptions to that. Some communities just stick around no matter what. But that's the general rule and the measurements they've taken. And so I thought, okay, well, I have no idea where I fall, so I should probably figure that out. So what do you do instead? The formal recommendation is to cold open. And I'm like, that's really uncomfortable. I don't want to do that. No one wants to do that. That's why there's a starting soon screen. You wait for people to file into the chairs and talk and chat, and then you go live, so you're not going live to no people. But people who are looking for streams might pop in and see starting soon and then go somewhere else because they get bored and then leave. That's the fear. So I was like, okay, well, how do I make starting soon interesting? And so I asked a friend. It was somebody who said, just give them something to watch. I said, okay, what can I do? And, so I went and I found public domain videos. One of which being Nosferatu was the first one I found. I love that movie. And I will just play Nosferatu with some free or video game music behind it while I waited. And then I thought, maybe I can do something else that's interesting. And I don't know what it is. And I thought, what if I have all these nested glitchy effects and stuff? What if I just go crazy with glitches during the opener? How would I do that and feel like it's still a starting soon screen? Well, I still want to have music. So how would I play music and then do glitchy things? What the best glitches I have are my camera. Am I just going to sit on the camera? Well, I have to move. I could dance to the music, and that's where that came from. And so now for the first basically the first minute or two of my stream, I will play weird junky footage. Here's the deep channel lore for Thades Hammer, which I talk about very rarely because it's just me. I'm a nerd and I don't really get into it. But something is hacking me and Twitch to bring us together, and that's why the first few moments are this really glitchy. Is someone breaking in? This isn't correct. Why is it staticky? The background noise is this pirate radio broadcast signal that no one identified the source of in Portland years ago. And because it was a pirate signal, no one owns the rights to it. So I use that sound. It sounds weird and eerie, and also you can't place what it means, and I love it. And so I play that with Nosferatu and the Astronomer's Dream and the original Frankenstein movie, which all public domain, and they're just really lovely moments in cinema history. I've never watched the movies start to finish with people. Maybe I should do that for my anniversary because they're so fucking integral to what I've done with my stream. They come up all the time.
You could do since it's public domain.
Public domain. I can actually play it on Twitch.
Get copyright struck for it.
I won't. I actually, real talk, when I pushed my Dark Souls streams up to YouTube because I wanted to remember my first Dark Souls run. Don't go watch them. My special effects are terrible. I didn't have my character or who I was worked out, and I felt awkward for it. It's not that good. But what was interesting about it was that someone tried to copyright strike that movie. And I went to bat against them. I'm like, nope, public domain, motherfucker. Like, this is how this works. I got a lawyer, do you? And they dropped the claim immediately. Like, that's like my experience on YouTube with Nosferatu.
gosh.
So I'm pretty sure it'd be fine. I mean, I have a lot of legal stuff come up all the time. I asked musicians to use their music on my stream. With the exception of like public domain jazz, which I've been using, Creative Commons jazz, which can be a little dicey because they may not actually have mechanical licenses for covers they do. So I don't use that as often, but it's still something I use. Stream Beats by Harris Heller, I have a license for, everyone does. And I have a number of songs that I have asked, like I wrote to the artists and I said, can I use this? And that started with John Colton. I wrote to John Colton and said, can I use this song you made? It's a song that hasn't really gotten many traction. But it's a really great song. It's about like being working stiffs and not being able to think for ourselves. And we work so hard, so many hours. And the song asks the question, what if we just stopped? Well, then we'd have a lot of time. So maybe we should fucking stop working so hard all the time. That's the point of the song. I thought this is really important. So I wrote to him and I said, Mr. Colton, I think this is really relevant to society right now. And I love it. And I'm like, tiny potatoes. I can't afford a license. I'm literally unemployed. My stream viewers are, their words, gay as fuck, and they love you. Can I use your song, please? He never wrote back to me, but his lawyer did. And his lawyer said, if you're willing to agree to these terms, Thades, then, you on good faith, John is willing to let you use the song.
That's amazing.
And so I worked out a small agreement with him, and I'm able to use the song once a week on the stream. I use it. That was the agreement. I said, may I please use it once a week? Both because I wanted to have variety, and also because I felt like asking to use that song, make it my theme song. That's a bigger ask. I felt inappropriate. Yeah. I use it, and Twitch, when they started doing the DMCA stuff, they muted me and said, you don't have the rights to use this. I'm like, actually, I do. And so I wrote to John Colton's lawyer and I said, did I fuck this up? I'm so sorry. Like, I'll stop using it if you want. And he said, we didn't tell them to do that. They're not supposed to do that. That's not all right. And he said, do you want me to go to bat for you against Twitch? I'm like, Jesus Christ. Only if Mr. Colton is really mad about it. Like, it's fine. Like, I don't mind them muting me as long as you're not coming after me. Like, I don't want him to be pissed because it's his song. Yeah. It sounds like it's just Twitch being paranoid and they have his stuff in the software because probably he used to use Content ID. And no, he never did. He controls all his own stuff. The Content ID people are just really assertive, and they pick up musicians who they think can make money, and they're like, look, we're already trapping it for you. Don't you want us to protect you? Yeah, see, yeah. And that's why I get muted for Colton's music, and that's something that he is dealing with. But I can use that song, and that spurred me to ask a lot of other things. I asked permission of two of my childhood heroes, Captain and Purple Motion. They made music in the late 90s for like the demo scene. I'm very old. It's old computing stuff. If you want to know why we have 3D cards and sound cards as independent devices, it's because of these men. And I wrote to them and said, can I use your music? And they said, shit, I haven't made music in years. Yeah, please, God, go for it. That's awesome. Your stream looks cool, bud. That's great. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And it really encouraged me. So I kept writing to people and asking. I tried to get in touch with Toby Fox to ask if I could use a song from Undertow. And he's unreachable. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, wait, maybe that's not the right place. Who controls the music for this? A group called Materia Publishing, like a legitimate music label. I thought, oh, okay. So usually I work with independent artists because you can ask the artist and talk to them. Like I wrote to Elisa Amador and she gave me a license. I licensed her song for a year. I'm gonna hopefully re-up it this year and use it again. Independent artists, very easy. So I wrote to this crazy ass publisher, Materia. I'm like, may I use this song? No response. I thought, okay, that makes sense. A month and a half later, I'm so sorry I missed this. There's a lot of email here. Yeah. You specifically can absolutely use the song. We may change how the stuff works on Twitch in the coming 2 years, but in the interim, you have permission. So I can use Toby Fox's music. That specific song, actually. It's the one where it's Heartbreak when you fight Toriel in the start of the game.
Right.
I can use that song, but I'm actually using a cover by Richard EB on YouTube. I also asked him permission to use the cover.
Oh my gosh.
And so I have permission from these two, like the actual performer and the publisher, who actually has the rights, and Mr. Fox doesn't technically, but I still wanted his permission spiritually. I could not get in touch with the guy, and I get it. It's fine.
Yeah, understandable.
Villain. He like went hiding because people went crazy over Undertale and they won't leave him alone. So yeah, I reached out to Orion Simpani, the Orion Experience. If you're not familiar with them, they're really fantastic. They are gay and poly as fuck. They have a song. They have a song about it's called Cult of Dionysus, which I feel like should actually, like, I personally am pretty mad that we got respect to all folks with modern religions in chat. I don't mean any disrespect, but modern religions are not as cool as the Cult of Dionysus. How did that happen? Like, I mean, just think about what these different religions represent. Like, you know, being quiet and thinking about the future and like singing. That's all great. Why can't we get drunk and have sex though? Why not? Why can't that be part of our it's part of everything else. It's central to so much stuff, and it's so great, and it's nice, it's fun, it's healthy. Why isn't it built into our core philosophies about the universe? The Cult of Dionysus, it was.
I love it. Oh my god.
I wrote and I said, I'm playing Hades. This song is really perfect for it. May I use this song on my stream when I play Hades to introduce my stream? And Orion Simpani wrote back and said, you can use all of our music. I was like, what? So I have a whole bunch of Orion Simpani songs that I'll fire up sometimes. That band is really clutch. Yeah, they're really fun. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
How do we get down that rabbit hole? Oh, opening my stream and Streamiversary stuff. That's what this is. It's all rabbit holes. I am rabbit holes.
This is my favorite kind of thing, honestly. We just get into anything and everything. PJ, what do you have? He has his toy. Yeah.
Hey, PJ. Are my cats in here? They were.
Well, yeah, one of them got on your shelf earlier and started licking their own foot.
There's no cats. Wait, chair.
I see
there
them.
they are. Oh, they're both there.
Oh, I see them.
Oh,
both of my cats are on screen too.
Been with me the whole time.
Here's PJ, and there's Toast.
Oh gosh, I can feel a tremor in the force as my viewers are smacking at the Redeem, trying to give treats to my cat.
Oh my gosh. So your Streamiversary.
Yeah, I don't know what to do for it. Right. Watching Nosferatu, maybe. I've played a lot of Dark Souls. I don't think I'm going to fire up Dark Souls again because Elden Ring's probably coming for me. I'll probably play that after everyone else is done with it in a couple of months. I want to give everyone else time to like experience that game because the energy I brought was, hey, look, our dad's playing this game we all know. And I can't do that FM Bleeding Edge, so I'm going to wait until everyone has some Elden Ring under their belts. Shit, what else? I mean, I'll probably play a game and just talk about stuff. Maybe I'll do a Q&A or something. I don't know. It'd be nice to do a collab and have a whole bunch of people on there. I wanted to make my stream a 100% a collaboration stream. I have so much fun on Friday nights having guests on there.
Your
and
Friday
more
nights
recently,
are the best.
I managed to reverse engineer the tech that I'm pretty sure GDQ uses so that remote people can stream gameplay at GDQ. And so like I've tested it a couple of times and it's really pretty stable. Fraggie's still in chat there. There she is. So shout outs to Fraggie. She's a fantastic streamer. I've known Fraggie for 20 years. 20 years. Long before Twitch even existed. And I convinced her to stream, and now she has a really awesome stream. Her stream's more fun than mine. Go follow her.
Hold on.
Yeah, Fraggie, one right there.
Stream? Am I following you? Am I following?
Oh, there's
you?
another thing I got permission for.
Following you. Follow.
The heart that Fraggie is putting up there in chat, that is the Daniel Quasar Progress Pride heart. And I wrote to Daniel Quasar and I said, may I please use your Progress Pride flag on my stream? I like to use it as an emote specifically. And they said, yeah. and we're gonna hang out with you and stuff. And so Daniel will pop in the stream sometimes and has dropped kind of a lot of gift subs just to make it really clear. Thades, you're doing what we want to see done. Here you go.
That's
here's
so
like a
fucking incredible.
It's been amazing. Yeah, Daniel's a real sweetheart. And so I have that progress-fied heart that I get to have as an emote. That's my most used emote by far. So I'm pretty sure people are spamming it in other chats, which is just great. I have that flag it's like bolted to my house right now. So it's another one of those. So anyway, yeah, I've got Fragi and I are playing Diablo 3. It's her first time through. I played Diablo 3 since launch, like back when it sucked, and now it's like really great and no one knows. Right?
Me too.
It's like really great. They fixed it and no one knows. And so it's really awesome. So I've been playing that with her, and I gave her a OBS application that I configured to stream to me. So she streams her video game to me and her camera through Discord, and I put her gameplay up next to mine and our cameras next to each other, and we're a little mini GDQ. Well, we're not doing speedruns, we're just playing Diablo together. And so I would really I want to bring that energy to my 4-player collab night, because I think there are some games that the 4 of us can't play. Like my static crew is Ceci, Michael, and Quinn, and I bring in other folks for nights when people need to take a break and stuff. And it's a cool opportunity to cycle new folks in and meet people. But it'd be cool to play games where, like Stardew. We played Stardew together one night, and it was a good gimmick in that Ceci and Quinn ran the farm. They did all the hard work. The farm kept growing and getting huge and flourishing. And we only know that because I had to go to bed every night through the farm that was obviously getting bigger and more badass. And I wasn't seeing any of that. What was I doing?
Fishing
from the same dock all night long. I was fishing and just talking to chat. It was very similar to, I played Power Wash Simulator, and I remember I started playing Power Wash Simulator on stream, and people came in and were really quiet, and one of them said, Thades, this is dad energy as fuck. I was like, oh, is that it? And like my stream numbers shot up when I started playing Power Wash Simulator, and people weren't speaking. They just sat in there and quietly listened to me talk. just talk about whatever. I'm like power washing a car, and I'm talking about like some car trip I took at one point. I don't know what the fuck I was talking about. And that was like, that's the stuff people really wanted to see. And so here I am fishing off a dock in Stardew, and that energy carried the stream. And of course, talking to Ceci and Quinn, like the conversation was good, but it probably would have been good if I could have hit a button and showed Quinn's gameplay at some point, so they could see the person who knows how to play Stardew really fucking crushing it while dad is like fucking up fishing off the dock, because the contrast is also funny. But it could also, there are other games you could play where maybe popping over and seeing their gameplay would make it interesting, you know, like horror games or investigation games or first-person shooters, team games, whatever. Just like anything. We usually just play games like Castle Crashers or Overcooked that have us constrained to one screen so you can see us all anyway.
Yeah.
So like I would love to have that ready for Streamiversary. I might like having it only 2 people do it. It works. All 4 of us, I could do it, but it's at the point now where I need to take time off and do my actual professional job for my stream. And like, okay, I need to like Dockerize this shit. I need like to run these containers, and they have to have 2-factor authentication. And like, what the hell am I doing? This is streaming. I'm supposed to be fun times. I want fun times.
I want to learn that program that you use. I think I could really use something like that.
So I'm running. Should I tell you? I'll tell you off air because I don't want to. It's not as secure as it needs to be right now, so I don't want to talk about what software I'm using.
That's totally.
But
fine.
It's like I basically built my own server out of someone else's code, and I'm running that. And when I have to build in more, that's why I'm going to use Docker for it, because I can run. My goal is, once I can make it a thing that is canned, and everyone can like, oh, I just have to do these like 6 things, and then I can do what Thades do, and it's secure, and my friends can use 2-factor authentication to stream my gameplay to me. I will make a YouTube video of that, and then anyone can do it. I think that would be great. I'm a little sad that GDQ has not been public about how they do it. And I think it's because even though they're a charity, they're a business, and they're afraid of being compromised. They're a big deal, and they don't want like, you know, anyone like trying to like. I mean, there's like one path to security is my path, which is like be really open about stuff and tell people, here's how this works. It's open source. Let's all look together and figure it out. But also my path, and the path that a lot of big companies take, is not only do we have smart people look at this that way, we don't tell anybody what we do, so that they have to do all the guesswork to start. So they start from a more ignorant place trying to break in. So that's kind of what I think GDQ is doing, and certainly what I'm doing right now. So, I do the dad energy. It is the thing. I can't. I mean, I'm wearing a fucking sweater vest. This is like, Barry, what happened? How did this happen to me?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. So this is a thing. In my friend circles, a lot of them, there is actually kind of a lack of positive masculinity. There's not much of it there. I have a few friends that just nail it, but not many of them. Honestly, most of my friends in my friend group, in my community, honestly, is either non-binary or feminine. So there's a skew there, and when people get to see positive masculinity, it's a real treat, honestly.
It's really humbling for you to say. Thank you.
You are a real treat, and you inspire some masculinity in me.
Oh,
I am gender fluid, and I tend to lean more feminine as well, but I tend to mirror those around me. And you're one that I would like to mirror.
Oh gosh, thank you so much, Jesus. Well, I think it's safe to share this now because Quinn talked about it when they changed their pronouns to they, he on Sunday, and I watched them talk about this and I cried. So I will sort of share the punchline here was that Quinn confided in me before Thanksgiving or around Thanksgiving time that I'd asked him, have you ever played with he, him pronouns? And Quinn said, yeah, a little bit. And then they confided in me. They said, I'm a little afraid that if I am a man, that, I might become a monster, because every man I've ever met has been a monster until you, Dad. And I said in response, I don't know that I deserve that honorary, but you know what? I think you're right. And we could use you. We could use more good men. And it's okay if that's what you are. And now Quinn's trying it out. And they said on Stream Live that the reason they were able to take that step is because I said literally that to them. And it wasn't like I discovered them or broke them free, of course. It was because I think just like everyone, they just need some dude that fits my demographics to say, you're doing all right. You're making choices for yourself, and they're the good ones, because you know what you need. I believe in you, and I know you can fucking do this. That's all they want. They want my children, they're 6 and 4. All kids want is approval, attention, and affection. They want those 3 things. If you want to if you need to teach a kid a lesson, you just have to take one of those away for a brief moment. And it's usually the approval one's the safe one. You put them in timeout and you explain, what they did wrong, right? But those 3 wants don't go away as people grow up. And the people that want them from the most are the people who are on the fucking hook to do it. And a lot of men are not doing that for their kids. I don't know why. And it's telling to me that all these humans I'm meeting that I meet for the first time, and they see, oh, this guy, his being a father is central to his identity. It is. I have this energy that they want that. They want to have someone who fits this demographic, who is a dad. Tell them you're doing the right stuff, because their dads aren't fucking doing that. And why not? I get so I'm sorry. I'm really mad about it. I've been mad about it for the years I discovered it. And it's just it's not hard. And you know what? For whatever, there's probably no straight cis het boys watching this right now. But if you are, fuck, I get it. it can be really confusing when your kid does not appear to be what you were hoping they were. But remember that they are their own person. They're going to do shit in order to figure themselves out. They're going to make mistakes, and maybe one of those mistakes will be core to who they really are. It'll be an important mistake they make. Or maybe you'll see something as a mistake, a core mistake, that wasn't a mistake. They actually did it on purpose. I guarantee you that there are fathers who see their children transition into non-binary or to a different gender, and they think it's a mistake. And if I kind of wish I could wave a wand and at least get those men to the point where they think, well, at least it was the right mistake for them to make, because it's clear that's who they're supposed to be. I mean, I don't know how to get them over them not seeing it as a mistake, because they tie into their own identity the idea that, you know, their son's going to be a man, and they just spend a lot of time yelling at their son to be this man. That, I mean, I remember I've heard one trans YouTuber say that even in the case when, you know, they're in their childhood, they're not really living the first class male experience, right? As they like figure out that, oh, I'm actually not a man. That's why. And so part of that not first class experience is their father's giving them lots of shit for not like fitting the shoes they want them to fit. And like, I think it's obviously it's mostly about those men, right? It's about their own comfort levels with themselves, their own understanding, their fear of who they are, and their fear of being scrutinized by other people and their own families. And none of that phases me. My background maybe helped me set me up for that stuff, but like, this literally happened like 6 or 8 months ago. My little son ran in here, my Thades Omega, my little 4-year-old, who's about to turn 5. He ran in and said, "Daddy, today I'm she, her." I said, "All right. Are you still my little buddy?" "Yeah." "Okay. Well, dinner's in an hour, okay?" And he ran off. And then for the rest of the day, I referred to Omega as she, her. And then a couple of days later, they corrected me and said, "He, him, daddy." I said, "Okay." So, I'm sure people in the chat are thinking this, and all of my trans friends told me, Thades, he's too young to actually have any idea at that point. Even at that point, that is actually too young.
Of course. I
said, okay, but that wasn't what it was about. It was about giving him space to try that, showing him, yeah, it's fine. You change your pronouns, and I'll flex with it. I might fuck up, call me on it. We'll get there.
Showing them that it's safe, that you're safe.
So even if both of my sons remain cishet white boys as they grow up, they'll still be safe for other people, because it will not seem weird to them when someone says, my pronouns are they, he. My son's response will be, dope. Mine are he, him. Right? That's what I want. And I can't make everyone do that. But yeah, this is another rabbit hole. I think toxic masculinity / good examples of men. Quinn is now a good example of masculinity. Quinn is getting there. Like, they're exemplifying that stuff. Like, Quinn's a really good place to go. Michael Grob is a fantastic example of masculinity.
Oh my gosh, they seem wonderful. I saw a little bit of them the other night, but then they started playing Elden Ring, so I had to leave.
Oh God, I wish. It makes me feel a little sad that I can't just rifle through. I can rifle through great examples of men I know and great fathers. I'm friends with a lot of fantastic fathers who have a pretty good handle on who they are and their sexuality, and they're in the same band I'm in. But they don't stream. And so I'm trying to think of like any of them that stream or do YouTube stuff, and like that you wouldn't all know because they're not big deals. But like, it is kind of like, maybe I should make a point of finding more.
Well, if I saw Quinn was streaming just before we started, I don't know how long he streams, but if we end while he's still streaming, I'm definitely rating him.
Quinn, I would twist your arm into doing that. It's my kid. They got to raid my kid. But he tends to wrap up on the early side these days, so probably 8:30 or so. Yeah,
it'll be fine. But
no worries.
I'm gonna shout him out because we've been talking about him, and he's amazing. Holy shit!
It's a very different energy than mine. So my chat is pretty chill. If it gets rowdy or feral, it's usually because they're giving dad shit. Quinn's chat is feral. They're all Zoomers. They're high energy. They get a lot to say, and they have interesting conversations, safe ones about kink and about community issues. They don't hesitate to get political in there sometimes.
His stream crashed. Oh no. Oh, sorry. Gosh, I ADHD interrupted you. I'm so sorry.
Oh. We're okay, right? We're still live.
Yeah. We're fine. They were talking about Quinn. Gosh. I screwed my own mind up there.
I got a little angry there. Thank you for letting me blow steam off on that.
Oh, you're totally fine, hun. I'm anywhere that you felt like going, I was happy to go.
I'm glad. I'm having a good time. This is nice.
As long as it's within TOS, but you know that, so I'm happy.
I think I have broken terms of service 2 times over the 2 years that I've done this. The first time, it was because I knew I'd get away with it. And it was because I wanted to sing I sang a Magnetic Field song a cappella. And it was before they had DMCA scan stuff. And they wouldn't catch me now. I mean, I do an okay Magnetic Fields impersonation, but I'm not nailing it. Right? But if you know Magnetic Fields, they have that song that starts with "You're Like a Splendid Butterfly." It's like a really miserable sort of breakup song or a post-breakup song. I sang that when I fought Moonlight Butterfly because I have this this is really old channel lore, which is over now. But for a long time, I would talk about Beatrice, witch Beatrice in Dark Souls 1.
Right.
As if I did it without saying it this directly ever. But I talked about it as though she and I had some relationship in the past, and it didn't end great. It ended fine, and we have a professional working relationship where she pulls all of the fucking weight on the butterfly fight and just kills the butterfly for me. And you would use her to do an early, when I tried to do how quickly can I get to gargoyles and skip stuff, having her kill Moonlight Butterfly for me when I didn't stand a chance. Was one thing I did for a little while when I was trying to route stuff for funsies and see how much can I break the pathing. And so one time I sang that song to her while she killed Moonlight Butterfly for me and then didn't speak to me. And the other time I broke terms of service was actually by accident. It was pretty recently. I was playing some... Oh God, this may actually still be in a VOD, so don't go looking for it and report me, please. But it was because when my friend pointed it out to me, there was a song that started playing in the Creative Commons, and I'm putting it in quotes because someone does not understand how fucking rights work, and this song sounded really familiar to me. I'm like, do I know this song? Why does this sound so familiar? It's because it was a cover, not just of any song, but the one song that is the most hotly, dangerous one to cover historically for decades. And it's such a big deal that anyone who has to sing it in a way that is a public venue, if it's either on television or in a movie, or until recently now, movies have a lot of money, but if it's on television or if it's in a restaurant, they do not sing the happy birthday song. They sing something else that says happy birthday because the happy birthday song, while being the most fundamentally uncreative song ever, is very hostily copyrighted. And there is no way that jazz band had the mechanical license to cover Happy Birthday.
Happy Birthday is no longer copyrighted as of a few years ago.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Really? No.
Yeah.
Did that change?
Uh-huh.
What? I can bury the hatchet on that? I've been pissed about that for years. No,
don't take my word for it, but this is my understanding.
Someone show me. Oh my God, I'm Googling it right now. I can't believe it. I wanted this to be the same. Real talk, I have been waiting for Metropolis, the movie Metropolis. Does anyone know Metropolis? It's the sci-fi movie with the robot that replaces the woman who's trying to lead an uprising against the dictator. It's really old. It's a beautiful movie, beautiful visuals. My favorite version of the movie has a oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of the musician. It has a really dope like 80s soundtrack. It has the first ever in cinema battle of a protagonist and an antagonist on top of a church. Like that was the first time they did it. Like there's a lot of stuff in that movie is the first time they ever did it. First sci-fi movie with an intelligent robot, I think. It's just such a good movie. I want to use it for my stream. It's my favorite sci-fi stream ever, and it was going to go into public domain this year, and some motherfucker found a way to get it out of public domain. So it might go into public domain in 2023. No. So I'm really hopeful they lose that battle.
Did you see the cursed eldritch chanting that was the happy birthday sang to Barry the other day? Were you on screen at that point, Thades? When everybody sang happy birthday to me?
I think I'd fallen asleep. That was a hard night, Barry.
Everybody in the voice call at the same time sang happy birthday, and Discord could not handle that. It became this unholy abomination of sound. Unrecognizable. It was incredible. Oh gosh. Earlier, I wanted to let you know that they said this. Fluffy Scales or Ruby said, "Thank you for being angry. Honestly, I think it's a righteous anger."
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I agree.
I agree with that.
Anger there.
I think it's important to be able to be angry when it's important to be, and that's something I struggle with a lot. I talk about this every now and then, but I guess kind of along with how I don't get frustrated at Jump King, I have a lot of trouble getting angry even when I want to be. When it does come, it's in extenuating circumstances and it lasts seconds. I'm just, something in my brain is not wired to be angry, and it frustrates me a lot because I sometimes I want to be angry at injustices so that I can find that strength inside me from that anger to speak up or perform action.
I mean, it can be a very powerful motivator. That's the only case in which I think it's really useful. Well, no, I think it's also useful, like in the moment when I basically lost my cool there and freaked out, because it's a valuable kind of virtue signaling, because like, it's a very vulnerable moment where people realize, oh, he's not saying this because he thinks we want to hear it. He can't help it. It's just coming out of the gates because he's really like the anger's a way for that to show that off. The reason I apologize for it, sort of instinctively, is because, I mean, again, this demographic is the problem, and I'm entitled to my anger. I'm licensed to it. In fact, I am expected to only communicate the feeling of anger and no other feeling. Like I'm always supposed to show it's either triumph or anger. And we never name the triumph, right? Anger is the only feeling that men are really allowed to show, and that is a real problem. It's a real problem, and so I'm allowed to be angry in situations when other humans aren't. And so I always apologize for it and try not to be publicly. Like, I mean, I have anger in there are circles I'll get angry in freely because they kind of need it. Like people in this demographic, if we're talking about folks who are in any oppressed class, it's hard to stay calm sometimes. So they say dumb shit. Like I had a friend who got really mad during the BLM protests because they like blocked up some highway and he couldn't get to work. And like, it's like, you know, the anger there, like trying to educate him that, hey, they're doing this because otherwise no one listens and they're suffering constantly. And we just are happy. We don't have, I mean, I think everybody should be able to come home after working for a few hours and play a fucking video game, watch Game of Thrones or whatever, like call a friend, like play a board game, just like read a book. Everyone should have the opportunity to go somewhere they feel is home, feel warm and safe, and have fun. Everyone should be able to do that every day. And there are people that instead have to work 2 or 3 fucking jobs and then maybe don't get to sleep on one of those days. And they maybe don't have a home. And if they want to stand on a highway to make a point about that, I think that we have already fucked up. And no one should be bitching about that. So, like, those folks sometimes need to hear that kind of stuff. They need to hear, like, you know, oh, well, one of us is angry on their behalf. Maybe they're, I mean, no. So, yeah, I've heard this a long time ago, and it stuck with me. I want to share this with you all because it may help other folks. A lot of the time, we'll hear that people will entrench if you get angry at them, or like challenge them on their beliefs. Entrench meaning they won't change what they believe. And it's very true that if you call someone out on something shitty they're doing or something shitty they said, in the moment, they are very likely to entrench and stand their ground and be like, well, you think you're better than me? Like, you'll have that uncomfortable moment. But you should still do it anyway for 2 reasons. One, anyone else privy to that conversation may quietly learn from that themselves. They weren't being challenged. They may think, oh, maybe Barry's right. Maybe I should not have done that. Maybe Thades has a point. And those other people, I shouldn't be saying those things. I'll stop. And even though the target entrenched in that moment, that doesn't mean that they won't change their minds. Maybe later when they're on their own, folding their laundry or watching a football game with their Miller in their hands, they'll thinking back on that conversation. They may never tell me that they agreed with me, but they might. They might see it anyway. They might be like, oh, fuck. Shit, those people are really suffering. How come they can't have the beer I'm having right now? I mean, don't they work as hard as me? Like, they won't have those conversations if you can. Actually, most of you should not be doing that. People like me should be having those conversations with people like me because then they listen. It sucks that that's where we're at. Like, it shouldn't be that way. I have this privilege and I'm using it to help as best I can. And I want to get to a world where I lose a lot of these powers, so to speak. Because then everyone can go home somewhere where it's warm and have something they like to drink and something they like to do and feel safe and not work all the time. I want that.
People
and rant.
that.
Yes.
People are worth that.
How did we get there? What happened? Barry, you have ADHD hypnosis on me.
I'm loving every second of it. This is so powerful and so good, talking about this stuff. This is what I thrive on. And when you were talking about that, it made me think about how I look like this demographic. I grew up as a cis male white man, straight. That's right, cis straight white man. There we go. Thinking I was that. I passed as that for a long time. I still technically do, I suppose. I'm starting to change a little bit. Starting to get a bit more femme, but that's still what I look like to most people. Just day to day. And for a long time that kept me from like flying the LGBT plus flag, like of any sort, because I'm like, oh, well, you know, maybe I feel this way, but I'm living life as if I were a cis male, and so that means I'm not allowed. You know, it would be wrong of me to claim that I am trans or any of that, because then I would be getting, you know, these points that I don't deserve or something. It's some weird brain space that I was in, and I think a lot of people are probably in it because it's I don't know why. It
resonates. Like, I feel in the same space too. I mean, just like at the start when I don't control my brand, right? I didn't want to fly the flag or do stuff like that, because even though I supported it, I thought, well, that's not me, right? And I mean, I had one very close friend of me said, you know what? Even if you're not, you're allowed to say you're gay. We don't gatekeep that shit. If you want to identify as that, you can. That's just fine. Just do that if you want. I mean, I thank you. And so I put the flag in my house. Like, and my stream has only gotten better for it. And the people I've met, like, it's just, I think I'll say one thing about folks under the Alphabet Mafia is that they do stuff that like Buddhist monks are trying to get us to do for years. Like they look inside, they look within, and they ask themselves questions that are really hard to ask. Like, well, I don't feel comfortable in this like weird meat sack I'm walking around in. I mean, me either, but it's different for me, Thades. You know, like, and they look inside and how do they feel? And they figure that out. They're doing really important stuff. You all do that. And that's hard as hell. That's really uncomfortable. And I think one of the reasons toxic masculinity is so fucking pervasive and insidious is that we're taught to not ask those questions. We're taught to fit this role. It's really uncomfortable to ask those questions. And because I fit this mold and it's comfortable for me to fit this mold, I mean, why ask those questions? Why bring discomfort upon myself? It's the same reason people don't want to put their privilege down. They get mad about protesters getting in the way on their way to work. They don't want to give up their own comfort, even if someone else is extremely uncomfortable. Right. And so like, I'm not going to go, why would I give that up? Because you might learn something about yourself. Right. And the people who do that are the ones who don't have a choice because they're not comfortable already. And it could only get better. Right.
That's true. Like, makes me think a lot of people, this is the one thing I love about furries. In my experience from looking at people over the course of my life, I think a lot more people are under the umbrella than you would think. A lot of people don't realize that they are under that umbrella, or could be, because they feel comfortable enough that they don't challenge and look inward and look closely at themselves, like I was growing up. I don't feel a lot of dysphoria, so it took a lot of like active searching to find, oh, this makes me genuinely super happy to be all like this. And when it came to my asexuality, it was more like ignoring it until I didn't. And when it comes to furries, that it encourages that inward look on yourself when expressing yourself through a character. So people end up finding more about themselves. I think that's one of the big reasons why furries are like way more queer than not. I think it's one of the reasons. I think partially it attracts those people, and partially people find out about themselves because they get here. And you have done that sort of exploration. And I love that. And I want to celebrate that. I always say it's absolutely worth celebrating finding out who you are and discovering yourself, even if you were exactly where you thought you were.
Yeah.
Because you only thought you were there until you actually went and searched for yourself.
Yeah. I have a statistic I want to share before I dive into that, if that's what you're asking me to do.
Go for it.
The stats, just speaking to what you were saying, like 1% of Generation X identified as some kind of gay. And then 9% of millennials did. The percentage for Zoomers is very close to 20%. These jumps are huge, and I don't think they represent something in the water. I think these folks are just feeling more comfortable being out and exploring and asking questions of themselves. Like, I think the internet, things like Twitch and Twitter and Insta and YouTube are unblocking people, either showing them it's okay to do it or begging the questions or saying, oh, wow, maybe that's just like me. Look at this person. Like I feel like them. And that's their conclusion. Could that work for me? Like, it's just like there's way more ingress for information and discovery than there used to be. That's great.
furries be like, I wonder what animal I'd be. Looks inside. Oh, I'm trans. Oh my gosh, and villain. Oh gosh, Alphabet Mafia TikTok is now posting videos on their boomer parents like, every girl kissed girls in college, or of course I felt the urge to kiss my buddies. Who hasn't? Doesn't make me gay. And we're all realizing our parents were gay and into
Yeah, right? Or had ADHD, right? I mean, like how many, because it was such a stigma for boomers to have anything like ADHD or autism. And like, it turns out those things are way more common, don't mean what they thought. And like that because they were so afraid of it, like that's just another space. Like the folks that I know who are discovering now that, oh, I have ADHD. It's very trendy right now to be in your 40s and find out you were undiagnosed, and then suddenly everything makes sense. Right? So yeah, it's just, I mean, it's sort of similar. And I think it's just, yeah, the world is better. It's getting better now. I look forward to, 50 years from now when it's like, actually all of us. Oh, actually all of us, right? I mean, that's what I thought. So that's like, I did a deep dive, and the reason I'd done this deep dive over a long time was, and this is just the vulnerable, embarrassing reality. Your dad's trying to figure out this dating thing, and at one point in my life, I thought, could I be into guys? Because I'm not. They're kind of gross, but also, wouldn't it be cool to have more options, right? And I had all these friends who were gay, and one of them's like, it's easier to get a dude in bed than a girl in bed, buddy. I'm like, I guess that makes sense, but they smell bad, and like girls smell really, really, really great. So is that a barrier for me? Is it? And they said, maybe. And so I kept revisiting it every few years, always because first of all, before I keep doing this, I want to put my foot in my mouth very soundly. I am really acutely aware of bi and pan erasure. I think that shit is horrible. So I understand that if it turned out I was pan or bi, that it's not actually opening me up to more possibility, right? Because there are folks even under the rainbow who were like, pick a side. That shit's not okay either. Right. And so I get that. But from my very naive cishet white boy constrained viewpoint from the 90s and aughts when I was growing up in college and stuff, when no one knew any of that stuff, I just wanted someone to cuddle me when I was sleeping. That was the goal. So I was just trying the dating stuff, and like maybe that was the thing. And so it was like all this deep dive. And so I started to bring it to therapy, and I said, you know what? There's a lot of homophobia in my like extended family and stuff. Maybe I have some internalized homophobia because seeing my friends hug, no matter who they are, like seeing two dudes make out, I think, oh, that's cute. It's cute. I like it. It's no different than watching two like hetero folks in a movie make out. I think it's cute. It's nice. But the thought of me hugging male friends, that's a hard thing for me. It's been a hard thing for me for a long time. And so I thought, why is that? Maybe I have internalized homophobia. I'm afraid of me being gay because my family, at least they'd be okay with it now maybe, but they would not have been okay with it when I was growing up. And that leaves a mark. And so I brought it to therapy. I worked on it in therapy for like a couple of years on and off. Like, is this a thing? Is it a thing? No. And then completely not connected to anything. A friend of mine, like late last year, was talking to me about how she was into belly dancing. And that's cool. And she says, yeah, well, look at the body control on this human. And she linked me some like legendary belly dancer. And okay. Hashtag your dad is attracted to humans sometimes. I started sweating, my heart rate shot up like this. Maybe the most beautiful woman I'd seen in a long time, and the way she controlled her body was it was ethereal. It was unrealistic. Her mind-body connection, her agility was transcendental. And I watched it, and I responded to my friend who she was like, look at how she like does these things and the technical level of this. It's like GDQ speedrun shit, Thades. And I'm like, I can't see it because she's really hot though. And then my friend said, oh yeah, I got you. And then linked me a male belly dancer doing exactly the same dance. And then two things happened. The first thing was, holy fuck, look at that body control. It is incredibly technical. Look at how he moves. I can't, I felt those parts of my body. Could I do that? I mean, in principle, I guess, but look at how he does it to the rhythm of the music, and different parts of his body are doing it at different times. I've seen this dance before, right, a few minutes ago. And then the second thing was, oh, if I'm not attracted to this man, I don't think I'm gay. And it was both a relief and a little disappointing that I'd put that much energy trying to figure that out for so long. And I was like, and then to find out that, nope, can't date dudes. I mean, I'm allowed to, I guess, but they'd be disappointed when they found out that I didn't even want to cuddle them. Like that is, I really like, just that's where it's at. That's where it's at. It was a very humbling experience.
Rook.
Hey, Rook.
Rook, welcome in, hon. How are you doing? When did you know you were straight? Story, excellent. Yeah, there you go.
I mean, that was it. That's how
answer.
I knew. I didn't choose to be straight. If I could have chosen, I would have not have chosen straight. Very obviously, I tried to choose something else. It didn't work.
That raid alert is the best thing. Oni, thank you. That is the Jump King intro sort of music made out of me meeping.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, Rook. Welcome in, Rook. We're having a wonderful, amazing discussion with Thades here. A dad. A wonderful dad. This is just the best way to describe him now.
Every time,
not his choice.
Every time I feel humbled, I can just do. There we go. This is better. This is my safe place right here. I feel a little more comfortable.
Oh gosh, does it really make you uncomfortable, hon?
No. I'm just being a goober.
Okay.
Okay. The lighting on this photo was way better. It's very natural lighting. Also, apologies for my voice. I'm feeling a little bit. I'm losing the high point of my voice. It's a little hoarse today. It's good though.
Your voice sounds amazing.
Okay, if I come to hang out with
Yeah, come on. Come on, Nova's
Oh
gonna be
gosh,
here.
yeah.
You'll be on camera. The camera's on.
It's the Nova
my
times.
nasty work outfit. Hi, Toast. She meowed.
I guess I'm technically in my work outfit too. I dress for stream, go to work,
What is happening?
and then I put on stream. What's wrong, Nova? Everything okay?
No, but
She doesn't have her headphones on, so she can't hear.
Oh.
Yeah, he's totally fine. Everything's normal.
hi.
Hi.
Hopefully, I don't have any salad in my teeth. I mean, you have like open space in your teeth, but okay.
Whoa. Oh, you mean it's kind of a big open space? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. There you go. I'm so like I
don't need.
Barry, hide me.
What?
I do not.
What? No, don't hide the Nova.
No.
I don't look.
No.
I'm basically in my PJs.
My nasty old work clothes. And
It's
my
just your
giant
dad.
foot.
You don't have to dress up to hang out with your dad. That's not how dads work.
There we go. Okay. Yes.
Look at
Now,
her hair.
if you see this at a certain store, now you know. Hi.
She's so pretty.
You look great.
Thank you.
I'm so gay.
Yeah, I was just yelling at Barry and chat. You don't have to dress up for your dad. That's not how dads work.
Hey. Thanks for letting me hang out after work, Dad.
Oh gosh, you're welcome. Who hangs out with their dad after work? I mean, Quinn does, I guess.
Oh, we
I've done it
certainly
a
do
couple
today.
times. I actually went over to my parents' house the other night, and my dad loaded me down with like all sorts of bird feeder stuff, and I really need to
Oh my
put out.
Bird feeder, hell yeah, I got bird
Yes,
feeders. I had to
he's-
stop using sunflower seeds because those raccoons had gotten the best of me, unfortunately.
Oh no, hit squirrels here. They're huge.
Yeah, I've got squirrel-proof feeders, and watching squirrels try and fail to get into those has been very satisfying. But raccoons have thumbs,
It's hard to get them
and so
where they
those
can't get
little
into
jerks.
It's so hard. They launch themselves. Kamikaze squirrels. But he supposedly fixed our squirrel baffles when we didn't know that he came to our yard and did that, so hopefully it'll work. Thanks, other dad.
Hey, all the dads we need.
Yep.
Fleshsona says the word has been added to my cursed vocabulary today.
Oh, I hate that word so much.
How did that happen? Oh, it's because, I mean, the first time I heard it was when I joined your birthday stream and everyone declared I was going in my Fleshsona.
I heard it a long time ago. I love
Gross.
it. I love it so much.
Yeah, I enjoyed getting to hear what I got to hear. And I thought I'd come on to see if I can confuse Dad some more. Because I have an interesting thing about being omnisexual, pansexual, is that I feel attraction to different genders differently. So, like, I've learned that it's okay to react a certain way to masc presenting people, and if I feel differently about femme presenting people, that it doesn't have to be the same.
Sure.
Like,
oh yeah.
So
I mean, I tried that avenue too.
Okay. I was like, I
mean,
want to see if I can get in there and mess it up.
I think Thades at this point has fairly securely discovered himself.
Yeah.
As he is now, and he's incredible for
That's
it.
amazing. That's like seriously amazing. Like, I still have to check myself, but that's why you're Dad, because you got it under control.
That's why you're Dad.
I mean, I'm supposed to at least have the appearance that have it under control.
Yeah, that's all you need. you are a comfortable foundation for people to hang on to.
Yeah.
Like people who are fans of yours, or in your stream family, or in your real family. I think. I won't speak for them, but I know at least to me, you give the energy of someone that I can be myself around. And how do I put it into words? I feel like I'm protected when I'm around you. I feel safer in that sort of comfortable. And I know we don't really know each other that well. And we're not like family or anything, but it's just the energy that you give off. It feels good. And knowing that I can be my true weird, silly self, and you'll be the same person. It feels special.
I don't know what to say about that.
I think that's the thing.
That's what I want.
I think that's the thing. It feels like you'll be the same person, the same you, no matter who I am around you.
I mean, I guess because this is literally me. Like, I know a lot of people, like, they have to put on some kind of a persona to be on camera.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of Twitch folks that kind of do that because they feel like they have to be a big performer.
Yeah.
This is what you get. If you see me at a restaurant or at the mall, yeah. If you see
Nova
me,
knows.
Well, I mean,
anywhere, this
I
is the
try
same
to do
guy.
The same way too. It's like, I mean,
Yeah.
there's some initial like, oh, I have to like do a thing, but other than that, like, back when I first started streaming, like, I talked for 11 hours to like 3 people, and I'd do it again because that's just what I do. And poor Barry, I do it to her all the time, so
She needs it.
I think there's something really comforting about just showing up and being yourself with chat, and it can go a really long way, because it's not just a streamer culture thing. I think, like, most of the places that you have a chance to be around people, there's some kind of front that's going on, you know, like sometimes you have to mask just to get through work every day, you know? And like, while you'll have friends, like, you know, it's not like you can really let down all your walls and be yourself because you've work to do. And, you know, there's something very special about, creating the space where you, as the host of the channel, are yourself, but also, I think that gives chat the place to do that as well. And just that opportunity to interact like that is really cool.
Yeah.
Captain Adam, I think that's how you say your name. I think just you saying that tells me that you're gonna do a great job. I think you're gonna do a great job.
He is doing a great job.
Doing a great job.
I know the guy. He's really great.
I can't see the chat very well today.
I'm sorry.
I'm way far back, but also, hi, Thades cat.
Yes.
Oh, they
On
moved.
the bookshelf.
That's her spot. I've left that spot open since like I got the cat and started streaming because she used to knock over whatever was in that spot. So I thought, you know what? That's just a cat shelf.
Yep.
So if she's not there, people are like, Thades, why don't you have books in that part of the shelf? Wait.
Winnie, are you and Captain Adam together? Is that the
Yes,
thing?
they are.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Cute.
Congratulations to both of you. Oh goodness.
Thanks for letting me come hang out. I hope I'm not too disruptive.
Oh gosh, no, it's great.
Amazing.
I'm still. You've both been so nice to me. I'm a little just kind of reeling. I may seem cool and composed and collected, but the reality is I'm gobsmacked and humbled. So it's kind of.
Well, so am I.
Yeah, I do, Yeti, actually. I definitely want to be the guy that my sons can come out to without skipping a beat if they ever have to. They're gonna know. They'll already know. They'll come out to me before anyone else in the family. I mean, that's true. One of them did. Two of them did.
Well, it probably will be like a big thing, like, Dad, I'm not a nerd. I'm into football.
No.
No.
Oh, that actually would be a problem though. It's like American football is actually really terrible because like there's a lot of head injuries with the
Yeah, that's
helmets
exactly what I
and
was
stuff,
thinking.
and
I was like,
concussions, and like they push it. I'll save that lecture for another time. Also, my sons watch speedruns with me almost all the time. That's what we do. We watch GDQ reruns of speedruns.
Yes.
Their favorite runs are Super Metroid Impossible by Oats and Goats. That run is crazy.
haven't seen that one. I've seen
So Super Metroid Impossible was previously Taz only, and the last I knew there were 2 or 3 humans on the board at all, as in only 3 living humans can complete the game, let alone do it at speed. And Oates did it at GDQ. That run was insane. And my youngest son, Thades Omega, loves Metroid and Samus. And I've taught them both to get weirded out and mad when Samus is naked for a second when she dies, because that's just it's just inappropriate. It's just inappropriate. It's weird. And they know that someone made that choice. They do that too. We watch like movies that are scary a little bit or things are spooky. I pause it and explain, these are actors, this is what they're doing. There are people sitting where we are in that, and they're men. They frame the shot. We see what they want us to see. These are fake. They're pretending they're hurt. And so they saw Brian David Gilbert, a YouTube video. This BDG, he's like, if you don't know him, he's really, really funny. There's a lot of weird shit. Sometimes he'll do like avant-garde horror that's silly, and he'll just do plain silly videos. And so the avant-garde one, the horror one, like he made jorts and he bled on them, and it was like this weird ritual. He was talking about it and seeming nervous, but he's just making jorts. But then the jorts come to life. That's the gag. And when the jorts come to life, It's like this scary horror scene. He's looking around in the dark, and you see the pants are not on the shelf anymore. It's like, where are the pants? And then they run across the camera, and both of my sons scream, and then turn to me and say, "Daddy, how did he do that with the pants?" Because they knew it was bullshit, but they still enjoyed it.
Oh my god!
So that's pretty. That's
amazing.
good for them.
That's awesome.
So they like Oats and Goats, and they also like Grand Poo World 2, which is a Super Mario World Kaizo.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And that is a really brutal Mario mod. And Mitch Flower Power is maybe secretly actually a computer and is able to play through that. We've watched that. We watched that one a lot because like the guy who made the ROM hack and the two people who tested it the most are sitting on the couch throwing shade at each other for how hard the game is. And it's a really fun. And because it's GDQ, it's all family friendly, and so it's a really fun run.
That's gosh, that's amazing.
Oh,
so they're not going to watch football.
What a great thing to like do with your dad. That is so cool.
GDQ is great. I feel like GDQ's done so much to like normalize video games in a way I've always wanted them to. How many sports make $3 million every 6 months for cancer research?
Yeah.
I mean, the NFL could throw 3 times that a day and still make bajillions of dollars, but they don't. They don't.
But they don't.
And these dudes playing video games are putting them to shame. It makes me really happy.
It's fantastic.
Bye, PJ.
Bye.
Farewell, kitty.
He's mad because we said something. If we were quiet, he'd stay. Dork.
It's not like me to be quiet, unless a game gobsmacks me or something. Then I'm a little bit quiet. Have you played Disco Elysium, Barry?
I haven't. I've heard really good things about it, and I've seen a tiny bit of it. It looks incredibly dense in a good way.
It is.
But it's dense to a point where it would take a lot for me to be able to get into it because of my ADHD.
You know, I worried I'd have that problem too. One thing that helped me was I had someone who played the game like and had encyclopedic knowledge about it, and so I was able to fall back on them if I forgot something. That helped a lot. So check with your community to see if anyone loves it. But it is such a beautiful game. The center picture over my head, Kim Kitsuragi, Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi, is the supporting character from the game. He's your partner, and is the best written supporting character in any fiction I've ever encountered. It's just, I mean, the whole game is incredible, but that one character is why I hung him on my wall. There's a scene, so the setup for Disco Elysium, I'm trying to avoid a lot of spoilers, but the game's been out for a long time, so it's we can only do so much, everybody. There is, or I'll start waving my hands when it's safe if you want to mute the stream. So there's a scene where, so the setup is that you're a detective who, because of some really tragic events in his life, drank himself to near death and instead woke up with amnesia. You were literally the greatest detective that they had ever encountered. You solve all sorts of shit that seems impossible, which is why they sent you here, hoping that you would snap out of it after it seems like a year of you being on a drunken bender of misery and depression, which you don't remember. And you call your station, and your former partner's all pissed and doesn't want to talk to you, and the station's making fun of you as they pass the phone around. And then the staff psychologist is like, "What the fuck do you want?" And I'm like, I think I lost my memory. And he's like, "Don't fuck with me." And after you convince the detective, the psychologist, you really have forgotten who you are, he says, "You know what? This is actually maybe a blessing for you. You don't remember who you are. We don't want you to. Do better." And you get to decide from there how you conduct yourself. Wow. As you role play through trying to fake being a cop. And there's only one good cop on the planet. All the rest of the cops are what you'd expect, unfortunately. But not Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi, who does a really great job and believes in his role and wants to help. And you can choose to be like Kim and also be a helper, or you can be a bastard or a cheater or a lot of damn... But it's just really fulfilling to become a really zany, quirky, good-meaning detective, which is kind of where I ended up being. But you're discovering like who you were. And one thing you figure out after you come to is that you have misplaced your badge, your gun, and your police cruiser. You find this out very early in the game, and you're like, I got to find all this really expensive equipment, especially the gun. That seems important, right? And so at one point, you come across a car that is basically buried in a frozen lake. It's like its butt sticking up in the frozen lake. And you stand there staring at it for a minute, and you say to Kim, I think I want to sit down on the swings here for a second. And Lieutenant Kim's like, yeah, let's do that. And you sit on a swing and you're swinging, and Kim sits side saddle on a swing looking at you, holding a chain, and he's just looking and patiently listening while you piece your way through solo monologuing, talking about your life and some stuff about feelings and how unfortunate it was that whoever this poor bastard was that drove their car off a fucking bridge and crashed it here somehow. You hope they survived. Gosh, that looks familiar, though. Those taillights look familiar. You know what? I'm a cop. I can open the car, right? And Kitsuragi says, yeah, you are a cop. You can open that car if you want. I open the door, and I'm like, the fucker, what is this jacket? What kind of idiot wears this? It smells kind of familiar. What's this in the pocket? Oh, I know these matches. I know this place. I kind of like the inside of this jacket. It's cozy. I could see why someone would wear it, even if they don't like the outside. Right? And Kim's like, yeah. Does any of it feel like important somehow? Right? Because, spoiler, it's your fucking car. And Kim lets you get there on your own, patiently holding your hand spiritually while you figure it out.
That's amazing.
And that scene really, that is Kim Kitsuragi for the entire game, really. He supports you. He is both, he's essentially the dad in that game. Right, he lets you explore on your own. He lets you fuck it up. He's clearly concerned sometimes when you do things he doesn't agree with. And if you ever step out of line in a way that'll hurt yourself or someone else, he will step up and say, no, that's not okay. But when you get back on the track of helping, even if it's a little weird how you do it, he lets you figure it out on your own. I fucking love that character. That's why I hung him on my wall. I think you should all play Disco Elysium. I'm waving my hand so you know that the spoilers are over. There you go.
I've heard amazing things and continue to, obviously.
It's so good.
I think Nady Beak played it a few hours on their stream the other day and was like, I need everyone to play this game. So I'm playing it 3 hours and then you have to play the rest of it.
It's up there with my favorite games. It's certainly my favorite story game of all time. It's without a doubt. Like, it's up there rubbing elbows with XCOM. Well, I mean, nothing rubs elbows with XCOM. It's the best game ever created, but it's almost there. But it's right next to Hades, right? Which, I mean, Hades is indisputably one of the greatest games I've ever seen. Like, the music, the setting, the characters, the writing, the gameplay. It's so solid. They nailed that fucking game. So.
If it's up there with Hades, that's pretty good, because I mean, I'm obsessed with Hades.
It's so good, and it's gay and poly as fuck.
Oh, it is. Oh, I love it. We played like 150 hours of it on stream. We finally completed like everything, basically.
Everything.
Not
I think I'm at the point
everything.
Not
There's
everything.
that extra where it's just like dump stuff into this just for the sake of dumping stuff into this to get a little icon or something. That's like all of it.
We also didn't finish the Pact of Punishment.
Yeah, I didn't get the third.
Or
the third reward for the Pact of Punishment.
Oh, I was at the point when I was trying to beat Hades on the final level thing, whatever was possible, like when you stack all the things up. I can't remember the terms now. And I was trying to do it with like some other thing at the same time. Like the two hardest ones, I was close to doing them simultaneously, and I stopped playing. It was a lot. It was very intense. But at that point, it was just clout. Like I'd already seen everything the game had, and it was so beautiful. I didn't want to burn out on it. So, God, it's good.
We
So
have
good.
to
We're playing
play
Pyre
other
now.
Supergiant games.
I've seen you playing Pyre. I haven't watched too much of it because at some level I think maybe I want to play it someday. But it's okay to spoil it because
Yeah,
I don't know that I will.
if you liked Hades, play Pyre. It's got a lot of similar kind of character interaction and characterization. It's so good.
I'm kind of obsessed.
We're loving it.
Rebel literacy. I'm here for it.
Rebel literacy. Literacy is illegal.
Oh
in the
gosh,
Commonwealth.
Yeah.
it's one of those.
In the downside.
In the downside.
We do what we want.
For whatever reason, that made me think of Fallout.
Oh, my chair's so squeaky.
Pretty
I'm
voice.
so sorry.
Fine.
I'm like, all over the.
We have about 30 minutes left. I only have a couple of more questions written down, and they're the more generic ones. We've gone over the more specific to you ones that I've written down. But this is one I really like to ask everyone that I have a self-reflections with. I find it really illuminating how they feel about themselves. The question is, what labels would you choose to describe yourself?
I mean, I almost always start with streamer now when someone talks to me about my favorite thing to do. I want that as a label. I carry that proudly. I mean, being a father is central to my identity. Like I think every parent is wired to feel this, and I know that some parents fuck this up at some level. I don't understand that. I literally do not understand people that don't see the magic in their children, no matter what they do. Like, it just makes no sense to me. Like, my kids are so fun, and they're so funny, and yeah, they piss me off sometimes. Like, they do some crazy shit. Right? They hurt each other and themselves. They make mistakes. And it's my role to find ways to, like, even if I lose my temper, and under which case I've got to apologize so they can model what happens when adults fuck up, so they see that. Like, I still love them. I tell them the whole time, even if I'm pissed. Like, I really love you a lot. I remember one time when I put one of my sons in timeout years ago. He said, "Do you want me, Daddy?" as a response to being put in timeout, because kids want attention, approval, and affection, and putting them there takes that away. And he really felt isolated by that. And I remember, so I started this thing now where after timeout, I say, "Do you want a hug?" And they're, they say no, and they run off and play, or they'll slowly nod and come over to get a hug. And I'll say, "I love you and I want you." And here and everywhere, we follow the rules because the rules exist to help us be safe. And then we'll go over the rule one more time and why they were in timeout, and I hope they remember it and stuff, right? Like, I mean, that stuff's the least fun stuff, but the most fun stuff is discovering the world through their eyes, like watching them, like I had waited until the youngest was old enough to, like, not swallow Legos, and, like, took out my Legos from my own childhood, which is, like, a bin big enough for either of them to bathe in. It was so much fun. And this, watching them do things with the Legos I never thought to do, like combining them in new and interesting ways, building things and imagining things. It's really fun. And, like, that moment when we sit on the couch and, like, it doesn't matter who's visiting, like, each kid has a spot, right? But often right now, ever so often, one of them's like, "I don't want anyone touching me," and they'll be on the other side of the couch. But, like, the little one's still right on top of me in his spot, like, whatever we're watching on TV, we're watching it together, his fingers in his mouth. Like, I live for those moments. Like, I wait my whole week waiting for work to calm down so I can, like, get, like, a few hours and, like, watch a show or speedrun. Play Candyland again. I mean, I don't enjoy Candyland, but watching them enjoy Candyland. Watching them enjoy Uno, right? When they each get to do skip and reverses over Daddy a bunch of times, and there's a giggle about Daddy getting pwned. Like, it's just really cute. Like,
wait till you
play
gin rummy with them. That's what it is in my family. It's gin rummy, and now no one can beat my younger sister, and we accept it now. But we still laugh that we beat Dad.
We beat Dad.
We beat Dad.
So, streamer, Dad, ally. I'm really proud, and I'm really proud of my allyship, and I really correlate to how I make decisions. And I have gotten in hot water at companies, and from one company pushed me out because they made such a stink about it. Like, this one company I worked at, which, by the way, motherfuckers, this thing I signed is almost expired. But they fucking fired. We started a thing to get all these, like, women were not being paid equally. They were being harassed. Their ideas were being stolen, and they banded together. And I stepped up and I helped them. And then they started sending me. We did this thing for a little while where one of them would go request something from one of the C-suite people, and they wouldn't get it. And then 2 days later, I would go in and ask for exactly the same thing. And they would say, wow, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. We'll do that. Why, though? Because of my demographic. They listened to the white guy and not the women that were asking them for shit, which, I mean, was a tool we used, but it was also extremely frustrating. And they promised a lot of stuff. Things got really better. And then all of a sudden, one by one, all of the women involved in that were fired, pushed out, threatened out, or left until the company had essentially no women in it. No women in engineering. The one NB was also fired, right, for trumped up fucking reasons. And like the only one standing from that entire thing was me. And why? And so I was real pissed. And so I like eventually like started, I basically left, but it was not like they wouldn't have pushed me out at some point. Eventually they were so mad about it. They were mad at me because I made them uncomfortable being shitty white guys, basically. And I'm happy now. I'm working at a place now where they already have an org and it succeeded there. Like they are very LGBTQIA positive, and they put a lot of money into that stuff, and they celebrate stuff, and they let like employees run all sorts of events for it, and we get way more time off for all sorts of things about that. Like they're specifically about Pride Month and Black History Month and like all sorts of stuff. Like I'm in a much better company now. Like they're really great.
That's great.
But like it's just nice to not have to like risk my ability to pay for my home and my kids, and also because it's really shitty to be working somewhere and think if I speak up, which I feel like I should, I might not be able to feed my family anymore. Like this country's shitty. It needs to work.
Yeah.
So,
and
but
that's incredible that like that kind of awareness and the fact that you were willing to do that at one point, like I think that if anyone has ever earned the badge ally, that is what it takes. Like
it can. I mean, yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, hopefully you're not in a position to where that you ever have to do those things. Like, hopefully you're not at a shitty company that does shitty things. But if you are, saying, I'm willing to be there with the people who are doing that, who are risking everything to speak up because they're being mistreated, to put yourself on the line with them, even though you have the privilege of not being in their situation, I think that is exactly what this world needs. And
I mean, it'd be nice if it was everybody. I was the only guy doing it. That was hard.
Yeah, and that's not okay. Like, change happens when we all stand together. And if there's not other people standing with you, I mean, that's why it happened the way it did. And, you know, in the end, all of you ended up leaving one way or another because there wasn't anyone else to take that stand with you. But when we all do it together, that's what makes change. And we can only hope for more allies like that, I think. I think that's fantastic.
Thanks, Noah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's you know, like everything you said about that and about how you're parenting your kids, and like it just gives me a lot of hope. It gives me a lot of hope that we don't have to be alone and that the world is changing for the better. Even, and I think this is like the best week we could have talked to you because right now it feels like the world is just falling apart. But even if it's just on a small scale, like there are people like you out there doing things to make people feel safer, to continue raising people who are going to make the world a better place. And like we're not just out there by ourselves, and I think that's really important to remember when everything is going to shit.
I want to say something to you, Thades.
Sure.
I don't know if this is an issue for you, but I want to say it just in case. There is a huge problem with the culture of cis, straight, white men. You are a cis, straight, white man. that is not a bad thing about you. That is not a detriment to who you are. That is culture. That is a detriment to culture, not you. You are cis, straight, white, and male, and that is a good thing. Not necessarily because it helps trans people or LGBT people, just because it's you.
I mean, it's not like you picked it.
It's not.
It's not like you picked it.
It's
Really. I did.
You don't have to apologize for being that. Okay?
Yeah, very. Thank you.
I think being in this community that celebrates coming out and finding yourself so strongly, it can feel a little bit like you're being left behind because you don't have any of this amazing self to discover about yourself that's different than what you thought before. But like I said earlier, finding yourself, no matter where you were, is worth celebrating.
Yeah.
And being yourself, whoever that is, to your truest, honest self, is an incredible thing, and you are so beautiful for it.
I think the thing is being that journey also, like, it's giving yourself kindness and compassion, and the fact that you are being kind and compassionate to other people is the best thing about anyone, but I think you in particular are incredibly kind and compassionate to other people, whether they're like you or not, and that's awesome. I don't, it's not, everyone has their own circumstances and their own struggles, and you know, most of us aren't perfect on some level. You know, like there's some box that we tick, you know, neurodivergent or disabled or all of the things, you know, but it's regardless of your circumstances, is being kind and compassionate, I think and I think that's what we see in you.
Thank you for speaking to that, both of you. I mean, it is something I think about sometimes. I think, the thing that keeps racing through my head now is how I have, for a very long time, and 30 years, I'm in my early 40s, 30 years of my life, I have felt like I don't really belong where I'm at. Like, I was, because of ADHD not being diagnosed, it was very stigmatized when I was a kid. Like, no one wanted to even think it was possible. I didn't really jive with or understand how other people thought, or what they wanted. And so, I was always on the outskirts. I remember, like, in college, I was hanging out with the theater kids, but I wasn't in theater. Like, I was with them and among them and welcome there, but not one of them. And then I remember getting out of college the first round and not knowing what to do with my life and being very scared, really 20-something, and like working at a dead-end retail job, thinking, all right, and working this job, but soul-crushing jobs make it hard to write. And I remember the people there saying, you're like really educated, you're super smart, we love you, but you don't really belong here, right? It's like, yeah, so I'm among them and welcome there, but I'm not one of them. And then I went back to school. And I was older and wiser. I thought, you know what? It's expensive now. The first ride was not as expensive as the second one. I'm paying for this. I'm going to work really hard. And I made a lot of friends there, a lot of millennial friends. And I was welcome among them, but I wasn't one of them. I have all my friends from my first degree program and second degree program. And a lot of the first degree program folks are married. And it didn't work out for me. Like, I really wanted it to. And things are okay now, and it's not only my story, so I won't ever speak to it really here, but for my part, I wanted it to pan out differently than it did, but it's okay. And all of my friends, it worked out for them, and they love me, and I'm welcome there. But I don't feel like I'm one of them. And you know, at companies I worked at, the same thing. Welcome there, not one of them. And I have all these friends who are, you know, all over the alphabet rainbow. And again, is the same thing kind of happened for a little while, at least at first. Like, I am welcome here and they love me, but I'm not one of them. But thanks to Twitch and my time in Barry's stream and Quinn's stream, I have begun feeling, I mean, it was really, I mean, I love Quinn, but it was really Barry's stream that started this for me. I began feeling like I was one of you, even though I'm, you know, I'm very different and I feel like I don't fit in, but that's kind of like the actual identifying characteristic of all of us here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We are the island of misfit toys, which was way fucking cooler than everything else in the movie anyway. Right. So I do feel like I finally belong somewhere, and it is because of this really janky fucking website that while I get angry at it, I have a lot of love for Twitch, and I have a lot of love for you all. And you have been instrumental. You too, specifically you two, have been instrumental in my finding my place here and feeling welcome and thinking, I can do this, I can be a part of this, and I can make my own family. And I started doing that in my real life. Like, my time on Twitch and hanging out with people and meeting people here has improved how I interact with the rest of the world outside of the website. How did that happen? I found my place. It's here with you.
Well, we're so glad you're here. Like, seriously, smile every time you show up in chat. It's great.
It makes me happy. I was really confused for the first month you used to do that. Like, why are they happy I'm here? That's just me.
Because
They'll
you're
have, like,
one of us.
One of
like
us.
a dragon and a griffin, and I'm just like this meat sack with a beard. Like, how the fuck did this? They're way cooler than I am.
To squimsh.
You can't squish Barry now, Raph. Oh, you can. What? Barry,
Nested
I
scenes.
am really impressed
Raph,
that
I'm
worked.
So
Oh, you did it.
Nested scenes.
I know it has to be nested scenes. I didn't know. That's really great.
How could you?
Wow. That, I mean, I don't know how to tell you this. I have 305
With
scenes in
impunity.
OBS. I am, by many accounts, the master of that fucking program. I am very impressed with Barry's doing this.
Oh my
Raph said that he did it for Thades.
Well, she was right to do so, and I'm really grateful. Thank you, Raph.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Raph. I guess.
I mean, as part of my self journey, I have also tried to determine whether or not like a fursona would be right for me, and I can't find one that I identify with. I remember one time I asked if the hammer was okay, and then I got really worried that was offensive, and so I never spoke to it again.
Oh my gosh. Of course it's okay. There's all sorts of stupid
I mean,
nonsense
if it
sounding
makes you feel any
personas.
better, literally when I saw
There we go.
your sandwich, the first thing I thought about was showing my brother-in-law, because all we do, how we communicate, is we make up new sonas, and then we make up weird pronouns to go with the weird sonas. Like, it's all in good fun because, like, he's so ally that TikTok thinks he's a trans man. And everyone at his job thought he was a trans man. He's also a cis man. He found out he's pan, but he is cis. And so, but he was kind of in the same boat. But like, all we do all day long is make up like dumb sodas, like oh, I have a lamp soda, lamp self, you know, lamp shade. You know, like, this is what we do. And so, like, I, you know, like, whatever, seriously, it's literally about what resonates with you. And, like how you want to see yourself as a character. And you know, someone's got to play the human. Everybody's making all these human playable characters. Someone's got to do it.
Why you gotta call me out on this, Nova? I literally every time I play D&D, when I run, I am the DM almost all the time, and I run all sorts of characters, all genders, all races, all creeds, whatever. Like, but when I play a character, I'm human.
It's you.
It's you.
Every time. It's me. Every time.
Oh, that's great.
Well, I always asked who would do that, and now we know.
Now you know. Hey, I'm not gonna let you do this alone. I got you. Isn't that really fair? We got it. Is that no? Hang on. You know I can do this. I've done it before. There it goes.
Yes. We are.
A problem has been detected and Windows has been shut down to prevent damage to your computer.
Squibs yourself.
What's your squimshona?
What's your squib? This is our squib
Nice
soda.
Sona. I have no idea how that's gonna look. Oh, it won't look. It'll pop over everything else.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
I'm scrimped on your stream, Barry.
you are.
It finally
What an
happened.
honor.
Wait, I can do it.
Oh my god. You're more squibs than us.
Oh no.
Finally.
I
We better contact the administrator, I guess.
Thades.
Squimps
Oh my
with
gosh.
impunity.
No, Rook, no. No, it's not fair. Thades can control his.
A time to
That's the whole point.
beyond
Even if I seem like I'm not in
one's
control of my glitches, I'm always in control. Wait,
my
you do
gosh.
sideways script. I can be closer for cuddles.
Oh my gracious.
Oh, that's great.
There we go. This is way better.
Thades.
Sideways squib.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, you have become tall.
You have become tall.
I am tall.
Thades, this has been incredible. I was so excited about tonight, and rightly so. You're just incredible to talk to and to experience.
Oh gosh, it's been an honor.
This is the funniest thing. Like, what happened? It's like you're What happened to these?
I am really, truly humbled by you inviting me on here and being a part of this. I love these podcaster formats you've been doing, and I definitely I did feel like I might be out of place here. And you announced the first non-furry ever. I thought, oh my gosh, that's like actually, I really am like the first one.
I don't know if I
But,
should have said that, but I just thought it was.
No, I think it was nice. And again, I do feel like, I mean, I felt welcome the whole time. I've had a great time sharing with you all. It's been really great. I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
Well, we're gonna have to do more stuff together.
Yeah.
Keep me in the loop on your Streamiversary.
Yeah.
I wanna freaking watch that. Before we end, are there any final thoughts that you want to leave with anyone? Just, I don't know, anything. If there's something there,
gosh.
you don't have to. There's not always something there.
Be you. And like, it's okay if you don't know who that is yet. Keep asking questions and trying stuff on. Maybe just in your room or in your mirror or with a close friend or with a stranger. Try on some different pronouns. Try a different name. You try a different affect. Hold your body a different way. Just like try things. It can't hurt to just try it once. If it scares you a little bit, maybe that's even better. Skip soda for a day, or maybe don't call that person that you feel like you have to call that makes you uncomfortable. Just skip a day. You were sick or busy. Just try it. You make decisions that are hard, We all do, but you make those decisions for you. And when they're hard and uncomfortable, but you learn something about yourself, well, you know it was the right one, even if you don't do it again. And you deserve to be taken care of that way. And I know people say the only person who can do that is you, and I guess I'm kind of saying that here. But I think what's more important is you have that ability. You are so strong. And even though this like weird amorphous flappy head boy is doing this to you right now, you can do this. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, hon.
You cannot be fearless too. You can fight for yourself, be alright by yourself, 'cause you know only you can protect you.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Thades.
That is the best reveal I've ever seen.
Thades, is there anyone from your stream family that's streaming right now that you'd like to raid?
Oh gosh, let me see who's on.
Stream fam.
You know what? If folks are afraid of Elden Ring spoilers, I get it. Feel free to drop off. But it would really mean a lot to me if we could read Abraham Lincoln.
Yes, I was thinking about that.
Abraham.
I got to raid him like a week ago, I think, and I'm so happy about it. They're so
gosh.
freaking sweet.
They're super sweet. Yeah, spam chat with like cute berry twitchy emotes and dad emotes, or any kind of pride heart you have that you like, any heart you like, just put it in chat.
And maybe Thades stream fam as the raid message with whatever emotes you find.
You like that, Thades stream fan?
Yeah, that's what you're welcome to do that. But also, it's like this is your stream berry. They should be shouting you out. Don't shout your dad out. That's not how dads work.
But what if we're
Wounds
proud
of
of our
squims
dad?
can be healed. But
You put your
never
dad in the
hate.
closet and make sure he gets his pills every day. That's what I gotta do.
Alright, where's the medical recliner? Time for
Ringing
dad to take a
ears.
nap.
No!
Blur
It just got unsquished!
the squim's
No! Get back down there, villain!
No, wait, do it, ever. Wait.
On the rare occasions you can squinch me without paying money. When I'm on camera with Barry.
Why is it so hard? What's wrong with you? Why are you difficult? No.
Okay,
No.
we're starting the raid.
What? I'm just shrinking weirdly. This is fine. This is not what I wanted.
Got a rare villain, oh my gosh.
Oh my god, these are so tiny.
It's been hard.
You're so
Small.
teeny!
Small Thades.
Oh, precious thing. Oh my gosh. Thank you all so much.
Oh gosh, thanks all for hanging out. This has been awesome.
Thades stream fam. We're mixing the fams tonight. And hopefully forever.
Yes.
Thades, I hope you have an amazing night. Get some good rest, okay?
Yes.
Oh, you too, both of you.
Know that you're loved. And you are
And
part
you.
of this stream family.
It's a squimch heart, but it's a heart.
Wait, I have a. Ah.
Oh my god, that's so cute! Yay.
Oh, that's wonderful. Gosh, you're wonderful. All right, y'all. I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Elden Ring because I'm hooked.
Barry, you have to tell me everything that happened.
I will. There's some crazy stuff. Oh my gosh. I didn't even beat that boss.
But we're leaving now. Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Good night.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Have a
Thades.
great one.